Hey, everybody, welcome to the Jim Masters Show live entertainment lifestyle variety talk show series. How is everybody doing today? Hope you guys are doing well. Hope you're having a good day. It's so nice to see, as we always say, all your smiley faces from all around the world. We have so many people that enjoy what we're doing here, which is our fun, entertainment, interactive lifestyle variety talk show series. And we've been having a good time. We've done some 670 episodes live, 7 days a week, which is absolutely amazing. And we love doing it for all of you. Thanks for joining us live. We also appreciate those who watch us later on in the archives as well. We all lead busy lives. So here we archive all of our series. You can binge watch like 670 shows, which is incredible. You guys know I work in television, film, stage, and radio, and the whole bit. And we're doing it for a long time. And we created this show as a way to stay connected with all of you and our amazing guests that come in from all around the world. They sprinkle in great conversations, poignant moments, terrific entertainment, great memories, and lots of surprises since we're live as well. If this is your first time here joining us on the Jim Masters Show, we welcome you. We have a legion of fans who watch and support what we do here. They are called the Lovely Squad. They come from all around the world, the United States, Canada, Europe, Asia, Africa, Australia, New Zealand. Up, down, left, right, they are here. Sometimes they watch privately and they don't necessarily comment in chat, so you don't see them visible, but they watch privately, and then they'll send us a private note, an email, or a nice tweet, or an Instagram message, or a Facebook message thanking us for what we're doing here with our incredible entertainment talk show series. So to bring it back, the lost art of conversation, like Dick Cavett, Johnny Carson, Merv Griffin, Regis, but with a modern vibe, modern twist of today. And we have Hollywood royalty joining us on the show today. We have the legendary Oscar-nominated, Golden Globe-winning Sally Kirkland exclusively here. And it's been a day, even though we're starting the show right now with all of you. For Sally and I, it's been a day of Jim and Sally. We've been on the phone, we've been texting, we've been chatting. We have lots of mutual friends, it turns out, and we've been having a day of great conversations. And we will share some of them with you here. Don't worry, we didn't do all the chatting off air. We will save some of the phenomenal conversations with the incomparable Sally Kirkland coming up in just a second. If you would like to chat, now our shows are live, but we do archive them. So if you're watching this later on in the archives, speaking to those who watch the series later when it's archived, we welcome you. We invite you to drop a comment on our YouTube channel. Let us know how much you're enjoying our series as we celebrate the over 2 years and 670 episodes. But if you'd like to comment right now while the show is live, and you'd like to comment in our exclusive JMS Live chat room, we have a chat room available that's open when the show is live. You can do that when you subscribe to our YouTube channel. So we invite and welcome you to do that. That's something, it's a gift for all of our subscribers. We welcome you to do that. The channel is Jim Masters TV. The show is the Jim Masters Show. And when you subscribe, you just hit that red subscribe button. Give us a thumbs up, like as well, and leave a comment for us on our YouTube channel. But definitely subscribe. We would love that. And you see this button that looks just like that. And when you click that button, magic happens. Yeah, you're part of the JMS Lovely family. It lets us know you enjoy what we're doing here. But also, in addition to all of that, you get updates and notifications on all the episodes and surprise special episodes that we do, pop-up shows and special guests. You'll never miss anything, because I know a lot of you like to be here when the show is live and interactive, so you'll never miss anything when the show is live when you subscribe and click that notification bell. Our incomparable guest is the one and only Sally Kirkland, joining us here live and direct from West Hollywood, California. She's extraordinary. She's waiting in the wings. We've been chatting for quite some time, and she's absolutely amazing. Best Actress Oscar nominee, Golden Globe winner, Independent Spirit Award winner, Los Angeles Film Critics Circle Award winner, and veteran of over 270 films and movies and more. She's been doing this for a long time. She's still incredibly busy. We have mutual friends. She's got like 3 or 4 different films going right now. I said she could have her feet in the sand. You know, she's paid her dues. She's done her thing. She could have her feet in the sand right now, you know, in California or Hawaii or Miami, just relaxing, doing her thing and kicking back. Now she's still out there grinding. She's still out there performing and doing her thing. You've seen her on so many television shows and so many movies. She was on Days of Our Lives, Roseanne. She was in the movie Private Benjamin, of course. She certainly made an indelible mark on Hollywood history. Born in New York City, yes, she's an East Coaster. You guys know I'm from New York as well, from out east on Long Island. Her mother was the fashion editor at Vogue and Life magazine. Sally began her career on the off-Broadway circuit and trained under Lee Strasberg, of course. So that's another legendary name as well. She's a film, television, theater veteran since the 1960s, probably best known for the incredible film Anna, for which she garnered the Best Actress Oscar nomination and won the Best Actress Golden Globe, the Independent Spirit Award, and as I've mentioned earlier, the LA Film Critics Circle Award. Sally's first director in 1964 was Andy Warhol, believe it or not, in 13 Most Beautiful Women. 1968, she became the first nude actress in American history. Sweet era with, of course, Terrence McNally, who we actually knew personally, and we just lost him not that long ago, just a couple years ago. Her incredible films. Now listen to this. Yes, she was in The Sting, The Way We Were, Coming Apart, Cold Feet, Best of the Best, Revenge, JFK, Ed TV, Bruce Almighty, Coffee Date, Archaeology of a Woman, The Haunted, Awakenings, just to name a few. In the past couple of years, she starred in Buddy Solitaire, Nah, The Most Hated Woman in America, yep, and so many others. And also Sarah Q, Cuck, Invincible, The Talking Tree. She's in a new movie, which we're going to talk about, really talking about the life of football great Tom Brady. She was nominated for Best Actress in a TV Movie by the Hollywood Foreign Press for The Haunted, a true story. Her television credits include, boy, we would need 2 hours just to list, but here's a few of them, gang. Criminal Minds, Head Case, The Simple Life. She guest starred on Resurrection Boulevard in the TV movie Another Woman's Husband. She had recurring roles on Felicity, starred on the NBC movie Brave New World, TV movies like Song of Songs, a series regular in the TV show Valley of the Dolls. She also starred in the movie The Women Who Loved Elvis. She had a recurring role as Barbara Healy in the original Roseanne series. That's right, on ABC. She starred in the TV movie Heat Wave and recurred as Tracy on Days of Our Lives. Did you know she's also an exhibited painter, poet, renowned acting coach, and ordained minister in the Church of the Movement of the Spiritual Inner Awareness? Yes, that's just the short list for this extraordinary guest that we have joining us from Hollywood, California. It's really an honor and a pleasure to have her here. Again, if you guys would like to chat, we'll see some of those comments as well, which is kind of cool. This is really one of the only shows that does that, where you can be interactive with the host and the guest and with each other when the show is live. We always do that because I'm an interactive guy, interactive host. I like to bring in the viewers because we appreciate every single one of you, our lovely squad. And we also appreciate our very special guest joining us again from West Hollywood, California, the one and only, this is Hollywood royalty, stopping by the Jim Master Show live. There's Sally Kirkland. Hey, Sally, how are you? And welcome.
Oh, thank you, Jim. Thank you, Jim. And Jim fans out there, it's a pleasure to be with you. I'm trying to think if anybody did as good a job as you just did on my life.
Maybe the only one that would have topped that would have been Ralph Edwards with "This Is Your Life." Yeah. Remember him?
Yeah.
Yeah, we do our research, but I've also been a longtime fan of your work, and you're truly amazing. It's you're there comfortable in your home there in California. How have you been? How's your day going? And how have you been lately? You and I were chatting. It was like a whole day we were chatting, which was really nice too. We got a chance to bond even more. You are prolifically still busy. All these shows, movies, and productions you've been a part of, theater, film, television, stage, all of it. And yet you could be, again, feet in the sand, in a hammock with a banana colada in this hand, just relaxing. Instead, you are still in the thick of it all, Sally Kirkland, aren't you?
I'm working for Paramount Films right now.
Wow.
A movie called 80 for Brady, 80, the number 80, for Brady, and Jim Brady, the football player, is producing and starring in it, along with Jane Fonda.
Oh yeah, Tom Brady. Yeah, from originally from the Patriots. Tom from California. Yeah.
And Sally Field is starring, and Rita
Yo,
Moreno is starring.
this whole gang here, huh?
Yeah, they're all there.
And this
So
Tom Brady.
I'm not starring in it, but I do a classy little cameo with Rita here.
Oh
Um,
boy. So we see Lily Tomlin there and Jane Fonda, Rita Moreno,
Tom
Sally
Brady
Field.
has got to be the cutest, sexiest thing I've seen in years. I mean, my God, look at that.
Tom Brady.
He's a great job.
Well, I know Giselle's in the way there. Well, what a cast, and you're a part of this. And you were mentioning working with the incomparable Rita Moreno, who we all love. What's it like working, with this crew and on this fabulous movie that's coming out, and with Rita Moreno as well?
Yeah. Rita is proudly 91 years old. It's amazing. And you may have just noticed that she exec produced West Side Story
Yes.
during the award season. And of course, I was old enough to remember when West Side Story was on Broadway and she was there. And that was the show that made me want to become an actress. Watching Rita and all those other actors, dancers, singers in West Side Story. So I got to tell her that 2 weeks ago. And
Did you really?
yeah,
Wow.
it
She
was,
must have been blown away by
it
hearing
was a
Sally
little
Kirkland say
happy.
that.
Yeah.
Wow. So
Has
that was really
anybody,
pivotal for you as far as career choice.
right
Wow.
on, Jim. Has anybody ever told you that you remind me of Rufus Wainwright?
No, I haven't heard that. It's the first time. Wow.
You know who he is, right?
Yeah.
Brilliant,
Yes.
brilliant singer, Rufus Wainwright.
I
Well, look him
appreciate
up,
that.
and you'll be. There's Kathleen Walker. Hi, Jim.
Yeah, they're all here. Everybody's saying hello. Absolutely.
Welcome,
These are our lovely squad from
Kathleen.
all around the world. Jane's
Oh,
watching in
Caine.
Sweden.
Is that a German name? I bet that's German.
Sweden. She's in
Oh,
Sweden. Yeah,
Swedish.
it
Okay.
looks almost German, doesn't it? Yeah, she's watching live in Sweden, and Christine's watching live in North
Christine,
Carolina, and Kathleen's
thank you.
in your own stopping grounds. She's in New York City,
Oh,
where you
wow.
were
Yeah.
born and raised. Let's talk about that a little bit. You are ever the New Yorker originally, and grew up in New York first with your mom, of course, with Vogue and Life magazine. What was that experience like, and what were some of those inspirations for you growing up? You had art around you, and you had access to it early as a child, which is a beautiful thing. Tell us about the atmosphere and some of the inspirations for you early on growing up in New York, Sally.
Okay. There were two sides of the family. My father's side was Philadelphia Main Line. My grandmother, his mother, was the daughter of the judge of Philadelphia and the granddaughter of the mayor of Philadelphia. So I was put in the Philadelphia Social Register when I was a teenager as a Philadelphia debutante.
Wow.
And then I went on to be a debutante in New York at the Waldorf Astoria. So that was my father's side of the family.
Yeah.
Mother came from a poor family in Oklahoma, but she got a scholarship at Vassar, graduated with honors, managed Lord and Taylor department store, and then became the fashion editor of Vogue magazine, and then Life, as you mentioned. So I would walk out to the kitchen, Jim, and there would be all these models. Verushka, who is 6'3", Jean Shrimpton, who was the top model in London, dated Terence Stamp. I can't remember all their names, but I felt so ugly. Every day I'm in the kitchen getting my coffee and watching these divas from all over the world. So that was how my childhood was. So I figured I had to be an actress because I couldn't compete with them on looks, but maybe I could compete with them on talent,
Right. Yes. So, as you're sort of developing your chops a little bit, tell us about those early years. Were you in school plays? What were you doing to sort of get connected and really start to, connect with the arts and develop a love and a thirst for it and the experience?
Well, I went to all girls schools. I did it because Jane Fonda did it. And I had kind of a crush on Jane Fonda. Whatever Jane did, Sally would do. So she went to Ethel Walker's. I went to Miss Masters School, Dobbs Ferry, all girls. So because I'm 5'9" and I'm a woman and it's an all girls school, guess who I played?
Who did you play?
The men. I played all the men in every play in my high school. acting career, which helped me get down into my
Yes.
lower voice.
Yes, that's
Uh,
similar to B. Arthur growing up in Maryland, New York first, then Maryland. She had mentioned the same thing because she was very tall and she had a lower an even lower voice, and it was a similar situation with Beatrice Arthur as well. Yeah.
Yeah.
S-
So,
s-
if you've seen Anna, there's
Yeah,
somebody in your audience today. His name is J.R. Rosenberg, and he's kind of a Sally Kirkland legacy. He knows everything about my
real.
films. He's
Yes.
working today, so maybe he'll pop in.
Welcome to him. Yeah, feel free to comment. Subscribe to the YouTube channel, JR, and you can comment and let us know you're here. That's fabulous. We
I
welcome
mention
him.
him because he is saving Anna, because Anna's a small film,
Yes.
done for way under $1 million, and all those awards were heavenly. But in the movie, I talk like this. My name is Anna Volkova. I come from Prague, Czechoslovakia. What you want? I don't want to talk about my personal life. You give me the script. I'm an actress. I've been acting 25 years. Just show me the lines, okay? So that would have been something that Anna.
I love that transition. That was so perfect. That was amazing. Wow. Um, so early on, what were those first opportunities for you, Sally? You're coming up the ranks a little bit. Did those opportunities start really in New York for you?
Yes.
Yeah.
I was in I was on off-Broadway for 10 years, from 1960, 12 years, so 1972, and got to star with James Earl Jones and Sam Waterston and all sorts of people who we know. But right now I'm
Yeah.
having a senior moment. But I did over 60 plays, over
Unbelievable.
a 10-year period, and then Hollywood called, and that was because I starred with Rip Torn and Vivica Limpers in Coming Apart,
That's
which
right.
all the critics loved. And suddenly I get a call. Well, you got to hear the backstory. I had discovered yoga in 1969, and I was with Babaji, who was a student of Satya Sai Baba in India. And he had all of us in our white pajamas in the woods, chanting, Om Namah Shivaya Gurave, Satchitananda Moho Hortaye, Nishprapnjaya Shantaye, Niralambaya Te Jase Om. I could go on all day.
Mhm.
So we were chanting Hindi, and I was preparing to be a Swami. I wanted to be a Swami like Satya Sai Baba, like Satchitananda, who named me Satya, which in Hindi means truth. And
Mm.
um, my mother got a hold of where I was, and she said, "Where are you? Your agent is looking for you." I said, "Oh no, mommy, I'm here. I've quit acting. I'm going to be a Swami." And she
Mm.
said, "No, no, no, no. Get on the phone and call your agent." And so I did. And he said, "Sally, they want you to be in The Sting with Robert Redford and Paul Newman, and with Barbara Streisand in The Way We Were." And I said, "Well, thank you, but no thank you. I've quit acting, and I'm going to be a Swami." And so that's a true story.
What a story that is. Yeah.
Gary, Gary Leverton, my agent, said, "Sally, we've been working 10 years for a break like this. What are you doing to me? Please help me. Please, please do the movies, and then you can quit.
And then you can go off to
Then you can go
the
off." So I agreed to do those 2 movies for my agent. See, they're calling me already.
is that him calling now, telling you made
Yeah,
the
that's
right choice by doing the
JR.
movie?
He's letting me know that he's somewhere. Anyway, it's funny because my spiritual teacher's name was JR, John Roger, for 50
See?
years. So JR,
Wow,
very important
very
letters in the
important.
alphabet.
Yeah.
Bottom line, I do this Sting. Robert Redford got me the part. Um, and Paul Newman knew me from the Actors Studio, where he used to watch me act. And Barbara Streisand liked me. We're walking down the west side of New York, and our earrings knock each other off, and the earrings fall. And she says, "I like you. You're klutz like me." Did you get that? You're klutz like me.
Yeah.
And so Barbara and I became friends, and she put me in A Star Is Born, playing the Rolling Stone photographer. And then
Yes.
she said she wanted to do a scene for Lee Strasberg at the Actors Studio. So I
Mm.
went to her house in Bel Air, and I played the nurse to her Juliet in Romeo and Juliet. And
Yes.
we went to the Actors Studio. People were lined up all around West Hollywood. I mean, for blocks and blocks and blocks. Everyone wanted to see Barbara do Shakespeare. And so I trusted her. She trusted me. I'm out behind the back door of the stage and I'm running in place to get out of breath, which the nurse does when she runs to Juliet to tell him what Romeo said. Anyway, we do this, and Lee Strasberg said it was his favorite Juliet he's ever seen. And Barbara she put that in her Playboy magazine interview that Lee Strasberg had said that.
Wow.
We had so much fun. We had such a great time together. And I thank Barbara forever for putting me in The Way We Were, A Star is Born, and Romeo and Juliet on stage.
And look what we have. There's a photo of you and Barbara on the set of The Way
The
We
Way We
Were.
Were. Yeah.
Boy, huh? I mean, when you think about these opportunities and these movies, which have become classics, they're part of Americana, The Way We Were and The Sting and these others. You look back and who knew then, right? A lot of times you just don't know what is going to happen and how these things become iconic in the way that they have. But that's one movie there. Do you remember that moment there with Barbara while you guys were on set?
I remember I had a broken nose then and brown hair. That's what I remember. But
You would remember that, yeah.
she was making me laugh right there. She's such a great sense of humor.
Barbara
I hope I'll
Streisand.
get to meet Barbara someday. She's really a real
Yes.
thing.
I had her sister, Rosalind Kind, on recently, and she is wonderful too. Funny, witty, beautiful voice. Really, really fantastic. But yeah, there you are with Barbara Streisand and that again. And then Sting, that was, I mean, what was it like being in the Sting? That must have been a lot of fun, a
Oh,
lot of
wow.
work.
Well, I remember Redford was in the rehearsal, the final rehearsal. My choreographer was teaching me how to strip, and Redford was in the behind the curtains over on stage right, and he's laughing and he's holding up the champagne bottle and the roses, which were going to be in the scene. And after I finished my strip and we were just standing around, he comes out on stage and he doesn't look at me. He looks down at the ground. He said, "Sally, how did you learn how to do that?" And I said, "Oh, well, I used to be a Peppermint Lounge twister in 1960, 61, 62. When they didn't hire me as an actor, they threw $50 bills at my feet for shaping the grind
Yes.
of my TNA." And so he, of course, laughed and loved that. And I said, "Bob, did you get me this part?" And he said, "Well, I thought you'd like it." And I hope somebody tells him that story someday because he changed my whole life around. He truly did. Because the Sting, in a way, was more to do on screen than The Way We Were. And so
Yeah.
the Sting led to also Cinderella Liberty. What's the name of the one, Mel Brooks with Slim Pickens and the Warner
Oh, I know. Yeah,
Carrey?
we were thinking of that one, right? Yeah.
Yeah, I
What's it
believe it was.
like working with the incredible Mel Brooks? I mean, that's a riot.
Yeah. And he gave me these lines about tuna fish salad, right? So Slim
Yeah.
Pickens come down in a tray with his head underneath the tuna fish salad, and I'm behind the I'm adding up the money that he owes me, and as I'm adding it up, I say yada 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 yada, and tuna surprise. Well, I can't remember my lines, but I would run into Mel and Anne Bancroft for years and years after that, and they would come out with Sally's paragraph of lines about the tuna fish. They knew my lines better than I did. So he was so sweet. And I said, "Mel, this is too small a part for me to take a credit. So we'll do uncredited Sally Kirkland." So if you can believe that I did that, duh. Um, if you look at the credits for that movie, it'll say uncredited Sally Kirkland,
That
which means I
happens.
was there, but I wasn't there.
But you were there, you were on set, right?
Right, right.
But working with them, and in that sort of a scenario was something else, and unbelievable. We're talking about Mel Brooks, Dick Van Dyke, and Norman Lear still with us in their 90s, in the upper 90s. God bless. I think Norman's going to be 100 this year, I believe.
Wow.
Yeah.
I got to meet Norman because of Bob Dylan. I actually came to California because I met Bob when I was 22, and I fell in love with him and decided that he would be the one, if I didn't marry, that I would have the greatest love affair of my life, and all of that came true. But as I went to meet him backstage at the Pantages, where he will be, you guys, June 15th, 16th, and 17th, and where will Sally be? At the Pantages. So he was sitting with Lorne Michaels and George Harrison. backstage, and they asked to see Sally Kirkland. Oh my God! So I come backstage, and Lauren is in the middle, and George is on the left, and Bob is on the right, and they're all just staring at me, like try and figure this one out, Sally Kirkland. And I was so completely awestruck. I couldn't believe it. George Harrison, how I got the sting was stripping to his music from Sweet Dreams. And Bob Dylan, who I was in love with from the age of 22 until today. And then Lorne Michaels, who, if you ever wanted to be produced and directed by anyone, it was Lorne Michaels, Saturday Night Live, all of that. Oh my God. So
it's bringing back tingles, isn't it?
yeah. Yeah.
What great stories. Maureen in Arizona, is it Blazing Saddles? That was the one,
Yes.
right?
Thank
Blazing
you,
Saddles, yes.
Thank you so much,
Of
Maureen.
course, Blazing Saddles. That's fantastic. She also welcomes you to the Jim Masters show as well, and she's happy that you're here. And
I played Maureen in the film Cold Feet with Keith Carradine and Tom Waits, the singer actor Tom Waits, and I was Maureen. Come on, Sally. Maureen Linoleum. Maureen
Linoleum.
Name, yeah.
That's funny. That's what a name, huh?
Yeah, it's a middle name, but I can't remember it now.
Yeah.
Comedy.
Oh yeah. We have some very fabulous photos we dug up too. Look at this shot, Sally Kirkland.
Wow.
Isn't that nice?
You can tell from the hairdos that was 1988, and they had just told me that I was a nominee for the Oscar and that I had won the Golden Globe. Don't remember the photographer, but I remember he got paid $17,000 for that one shot. And yeah, I was feeling my oats, Jim.
Fantastic.
I was very skinny too. I wish I was that.
This was a special moment.
Yeah, and there's the Golden Globe, and I was telling the foreign press that I thought there could be peace in the world if all of the artists and the writers and musicians and actors and producers and directors, all the artists from all the Eastern countries, Western countries came together in the name of peace. That was in my speech there.
I think that's a beautiful thing because you've been very big with that. You've been, outspoken as far as peace and harmony and bringing people together. And, we talk about that on the show, the importance of that and unity and kindness and empathy. And I'm a big believer in that as well. And you've been a big, supporter of that. And I think our world needs more of that. If what we've experienced the last 2 years has taught us anything, is we need
this week, Jim,
even this week, that we need one another, and that the world, spins better on its axis more smoothly when we're all together and there's empathy and kindness. It's so incredibly important. It's another great shot. This one goes back too. Wow.
That's even earlier. That's 1987 when I was shooting Anna. And since you brought up empathy and kindness and all of that,
very important.
What came through for me to do was the Reverend Sally Kirkland, who's been a Reverend of the Movement of Spiritual Inner Awareness since 1976. That's 47 years, I think, or thereabouts, would say, "Dear Father, Mother God, we ask just now for your light and the light of the Holy Spirit and the light of Jesus the Christ and the light of the mystical power consciousness." Oh my God. One of your fans is breaking into my prayer.
I think your message to God is getting through. See the power that you have, Sally? You can make phones ring. Oh boy.
And the oh, come on. Oh no, they're kidding.
It's the power. It's the energy that you're putting out.
Yeah.
It's God has a cell phone.
But your fans can learn. It's Sanskrit. It's Anai Hu. Anai, A-N-I, means empathy for all souls. And Hu, H-U, is God in Sanskrit. And so you go like this. Anai Hu. Anai Hu. Anai Hu. You could do that just 3 like I did, or you could do it for 2 hours whatever you want, but it lines you up with your soul right away and your heart. And that's the highest frequency in Sanskrit that you can utter, higher than Om Shanti, which you've heard about in India, of course. Thank you for letting me share that with you.
Thank you for sharing it with us, Sally. What first introduced you to the ministry and this passion for it that you have?
Okay, that's a loaded question. How much time do we have? Oh my God, are we in the second half hour? Wow.
I didn't tell you. When you put two New Yorkers together, they can talk.
What happened was, like everybody, the 60s was a time of drugs, along with the sexual revolution in the arts and all of that. And I did too much LSD, and it was very exciting on the one hand, and it was very frightening on the other. And I hooked up with Andy Warhol and the Factory, and there was a lot of drugs, Jim. Now, I didn't do the hard drugs, thank God, but the LSD alone and too much marijuana got me in trouble. And along about I'll cut to the chase. I had a nervous breakdown in 1966, and I tried to kill myself. And I took 60 Nebutol and 40 codeine, and was found on the 13th story ledge of the back alley of my mother's building in New York. And having taken all these pills, and I was waiting to get stoned enough to fall into the alley 13 stories and die, partially because I was in love with a man who told me that he was going to marry me, and he was still married to someone else, which I didn't know. And I had opened off-Broadway in my first starring role with Sam Waterston, and it closed in one night. And all these things together, the broken heart with the man, the career. And so what happened was the superintendent pulled me out of the ledge, and I went running down 13 flights out into the streets. I saw all the doormen looking for me. And I remembered my girlfriend Sandy had an alley 3 blocks away, and I would get to that alley and expire behind the garbage cans. I almost got there, but I passed out in front of Jackie Kennedy's building, 1040 Fifth Avenue. And as fate would have it, a ship's doctor and a ship's priest were coming down Fifth Avenue on their outpass, and they saw this woman unconscious. And the ship's doctor pronounced me dead. My heart had stopped, my lungs had stopped. The ship's priest did Catholic last rites, and they were heroic enough to, in spite of all of that, get me in a taxi to go to Harlem to the Metropolitan Museum, the Metropolitan Hospital, where, to cut to the chase, I became the first person in their history to live through what they told me no one had ever lived through. And on the way to try and kill myself, I stopped by the Church of the Resurrection, which I went to when I was a little child. And I sat in the pews and I said, Jesus, if you exist, I need proof. And I need a miracle. And if you don't exist, then I want out of here. And so as fate would have it, the doctor in the hospital said, this is a miracle. And he said, who is Betty? Well, it turns out Betty's a friend of mine who was up all night looking for me in every hospital. She dreamt that I was dying. And I couldn't talk because of the tracheotomy in my throat. But I wrote, she loves me more than anyone. And they said, well, she kept you alive. She screamed and yelled at you in your room, kept you alive. That's my radio going on.
I tell you, you're getting all kinds of messages, Sally. You are getting messages live on the Jim Masters show.
Very weird.
You're getting messages. Well, you're taking us on a tour of your beautiful home.
So what happened was, after I went through that experience, I hooked up with an actress named Susan Terrell, and we did paintings. And all of these are my art.
Your house is filled with beautiful paintings. Tell us about those. Well,
this is Joan of Arc, and this is Modigliani. No, that's Modigliani. This is what I was going to show you. It's what do you call it when you put pieces of things together?
Collage.
Yeah, collage.
Collage.
And there's President Kennedy, and there's a little boy. There's Jesus down there. There's Baruchka, the model I told you about. Somewhere in the white in the middle is me and Pope Pius when I was 15. And anyway, we did art, and I'm here today to tell you all, if you ever get that sad in your life, find a paintbrush or find some things to tape together in a collage. These are my little Shih Tzus and unicorn. This is, of course, Frida Kahlo. Because art of any kind, music, of course, but in my case, it was painting. It got me out of the worst depression I could possibly imagine.
Yeah.
I just want to see how many minutes we have. But
Oh, don't worry. We have time. We have time.
So that was that chapter. And then when I became conscious again, I had a different consciousness. I wasn't the same young woman who wanted to be a famous actress. I was just a woman who wanted the truth. I just wanted to find the truth. And I happened upon a book called Autobiography of a Yogi by Swami, by Paramahansa Yogananda. And after reading his book of how he found his master, I wanted to find my master. And I began dreaming about having a living master. And so I went to the Universalist Church in New York with my girlfriend, and sitting in front of the altar was a man in saffron robes named Swami Satchidananda. God bless him. The minute I met him, that was my last marijuana joint, my last cigarette, my last drink. I'm not a drinker anyway. I mean, I went cold turkey on everything. Thank you, Swami Satchidananda. And he instantly made me a yoga master for the Integral Yoga Institute. So I taught 13 classes a week. I taught for 35 years, but I only taught in New York a few years, and I came out to LA to teach. In 1973, so I wrote Satya Sai Baba in India, and he wrote me back, and the next thing you know, I see Satya Sai Baba's arms around Swami John Roger, a man named John Roger, an American. I thought, oh my God, I'm going to have a teacher who's American. And I went and found him. He was in Whittier, California. And I walked in, and the minute he started talking, oh my God, the minute he started talking, he knew my whole life. He was, have you ever had someone do that to you? They tell you your whole life and you practically fall down. Well, I did. I fell down on the ground. And afterwards, I said, can I hug you? And he said, yes. And he said, I said, where do I sign? I'm home. And he said, well, your aura needs a little work, Sally. I can see you're on LSD. And when you create crevices and places in your aura that are cracks, the negative energy can get in there.
Yes.
Onto you. So we have to do what's called an aura balance with you. So I had a physical, mental, emotional, spiritual aura balance, and then I had a polarity balance. Wow. And then I had a 30-day thing where I put into a cassette tape everything I wanted to bring into my life and everything I would say goodbye to. And I've been with him ever since. His name is John Roger. He's in heaven looking down on us right now. And I am the Reverend because he ordained me in 1976. And he said to me, Jim, he said, I ordain you with the blessing of courage in spite. I ordain you in the blessing of courage in the face of public scrutiny. I ordain you with the blessing of giving the public spirit. I ordain you with giving you the blessing of listening from the heart and giving people God one-on-one. I could go on all day, but that was the gist of it. And so
I love what happens to you when you really think about it. You go into another time and space. It's beautiful to see it. You don't see it because your eyes are closed, but we see it. You're glowing. As you're reciting these things, you're glowing.
I have to show you his picture, Jim.
Absolutely.
This is the way he looked when I met him in 1973 with the mustache and the...
Everybody's commenting. They're absolutely loving the artwork you're showing on the walls too.
Oh, thank you. We work in the movement of spiritual inner awareness with the Christ consciousness. and with what's called the mystical traveler consciousness. And the way I describe the mystical traveler consciousness is that it's been around for thousands of years, even before Christ. There have been people on the planet who have held the light for their dispensation, and these light bearers, travelers through the ages, they may not just be holy people. You know, it might be a teacher or a painter or something, but certain people, well, yeah, the pretty famous painters, huh? Yeah, they've been travelers through the ages, and they hold the light for us.
This is a
And
big
I'm
part
on
of your life. Yeah. This is such a big part of your life and such a beautiful thing. It's a nice, you and I were chatting this afternoon when we were having that great conversation earlier before we went live. It's such a wonderful thing that you have because, especially being in Tinseltown in Hollywood, where things are created and it's, you know, it can get crazy, it can get heavy in LA, New York, but especially in, you know, in Hollywood and the creation of movies and television, which we all love, it can get heady. So for you to be able to master that craft as you have, Sally Kirkland, but have this foundation, this support system, this faith underneath all of that to ground you, to guide you along, to balance out the craziness that Hollywood demands is a beautiful full circle thing for you, isn't it?
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you for those words. Yeah. Valerie Harper was my friend. You know, she died, but she was a spiritual activist in her way. We would march on the streets of Hollywood to save the residuals for actors. You know, we would pretend we were Gandhi, who had, he called it the Satyagrahas, which means, it means the truth force, the army of truth. You don't hold weapons. The British soldiers would drop their weapons when they saw him because his love was so powerful that they couldn't hold up the guns, the knives, the whatever. And here we are watching on TV today, yesterday, the day before.
Yeah, all of that sadness, awful.
And I was lucky enough to be in Heat Wave with Cicely Tyson and James Earl Jones and Cuba Gooding
Yes.
Jr. and all the best Black actors in Hollywood and me. And in the movie, my husband fires Cicely Tyson's character, who's the nurse to my little boy. And I'm devastated. And in my real life, my own father did that to my nurse, Louise, and called her. And I couldn't believe that he went to church every Sunday and turned around and treated this woman who taught me about God like that. So that was when I broke off from churchianity and I went on my own path to find the truth that would be inclusive of all souls.
That's the way it's supposed to be. That's the way it's supposed to be. Beautifully said. Thanks for sharing and being so open. I love this. Our viewers are loving, they're commenting as well. They're being very moved. That's what we do here at the show. We don't call these interviews. We call these conversations, warm conversations on the Jim Masters Show. Heat Wave, tell us about the opportunity to be in that movie.
During the Watts riots. Well, after the Watts riots, but showing the Watts riots. Which happened here in LA. I was here. It was pretty incredible. I lived down at the time. The Movement of Spiritual Inner Awareness has a huge 100-year-old building, which is called Prana, Prana. And the Watts riots were right near there. And oh my God, going and coming to Prana, you would see all of you would hear all of the guns and the fire engine, the police, and the people running and screaming. I was there. And then I got to be in a movie about it. And that's the great thing about acting, when you get to clear your karma with something.
Yes.
You know, and I do feel I've had karma with the whole segregation thing, given my upbringing.
Sure. Absolutely. Yeah. Incredible. I tell you, we're talking about the array of things that you've been in. Of course, The Haunted is another one.
That got me a Golden Globe Best Actress in a Movie for Television. And I really hope you'll all see it. It's in 5 languages all over the world. And there's a whole cult following for this movie, more so than Anna, more so than anything I've done. This
Isn't that
film,
amazing?
yeah, I'm very touched that people from all over the world see it in their language, but they get my acting, you know.
What was it
Yeah.
like when being on set for that? Because now you're dealing with something a little bit different than, of course, The Way We Were and The Sting and some of these others.
Yeah.
Now you're getting into a different genre. Yeah.
John Roger, my spiritual teacher, he came on the set with me every day, and we were shooting in Wilkes-Barre, Pennsylvania, which is where the true story happened of the
Yeah.
demons. And he said, you know, there's a lot of disembodied spirits right here. They didn't make it to the other side, and you're picking up the energy of those disembodied spirits from the war, from the coal mine tragedies, you know. And so he would tell me spiritually what was going on while I was acting in the modern day movie.
Wow. That's amazing, huh?
Yeah. But you all can find The Haunted for free on YouTube. Yeah.
That's really fantastic. You know, we dug up this too. Bite the
Oh,
Bullet.
yeah, that's not me. That's Candice Bergen, but I am in the movie.
Yes.
They hired me for 10 weeks.
Well, that's definitely not you.
Candice is great. Gene
Yeah.
Hackman, I got to do a couple films with him. Gene Hackman, the director, was
Gene
a
Hackman.
misogynist. You know, Richard Brooks, he was a misogynist. What can I say? He liked men better than women. And so whenever they came to my close-up, Gene Hackman and James Coburn would stand on either side, and Richard Brooks would say, "What are you doing, Gene and James? We don't need you. It's just Miss Kirkland's close-up." And they said, "Well, we're going to stand here and protect her against you, Richard Brooks." I was very lucky to have someone like Gene in my corner. I was like 29 years old. Yeah.
You mentioned Cinderella Liberty. Tell us about this one. Everybody's
Well,
going to Google. They're going to all want to watch these either again or for the first time now.
the role in this film isn't nearly as big as the one you just saw, Bite the Bullet, but I do play a hooker, and I dance and flirt and carry on with James Caan before he meets and falls in love with Marcia Mason. That's all I remember. I remember that Mark Rydell, who was the director, who's brilliant, whose niece is my girlfriend, Maggie Wagner, he gave me $100. He said, "Go down to the piers in Seattle and buy S&M clothes and stuff." So I went down and I got leather and chains and all, who knows what. My own director is paying me money to go dress myself.
How rare is that, huh?
Yeah.
And then we have, look at
was
this.
the movie I produced, Jim.
Yes, Guns and Lipstick. Yes.
In fact, we did 3 scenes in this apartment here.
Did you really?
Sure. Yeah. Yeah. I cannot tell a lie. I had breast implants between 88 and 98. And you can see that in this picture. And then I got very sick, very, very sick. And I almost died from the silicone poisoning. They had to take my blood out in San Diego and treat it.
Wasn't that a news story? I think it was covered in the news, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. NBC, I think, and Entertainment Tonight. Entertainment Tonight did before and after. And
so you were one of the early ones to try that?
First one.
Yeah, the first one.
First one. And a lot of the reporters, the women, they flocked to me because they all had breast implants. They wanted to hear what I was going to say because they were worried about themselves.
Yeah.
You all out there, please don't do silicone or saline that has a silicone covering, which of course it does. Please don't. It's not made for the human body.
You so this was producing this. What was it like? Do you enjoy the behind the scenes as much as being on camera? This is your baby here, one of several.
I produced in one way or another 42 films. I'm in all of them, either as the executive producer that gets the money, or co-producer. Maybe I bring in the talent and the actors and the musicians, or associate producer. I just had a great screenwriter friend, or whatever. But I've got 42 films out there that I star in, that I handled the back of the camera, as you call it.
You enjoy that?
Oh yeah. And I'm a teacher. I taught Sandy Bullock when she was like 20, 21, 22.
Bullock, yeah.
Coach Barbara Streisand, Roseanne, Liza Minnelli, Dwight Yoakam. Oh God, I'm drawing blank now. You know Philip Michael Thomas from Miami Vice?
Sure, that's
He
right.
was my student. Yeah.
He was your student.
So I've taught acting for 35 years to 2,000 people,
Wow.
14 cities in this country, and then in England, France, Australia, all over Australia, and Hawaii.
You and I were talking on the phone before earlier. I said, you really have accumulated, whether it's doing that or just being in the films on set and on location, you have definitely accumulated those frequent flyer miles.
Thank you, Jim. And sitting in your audience, he's in a meeting at the same time, so I can see him going back and forth. J.R. Rosenberg is my co-writer for 10 hours we've done of an audiobook.
Oh, that's fantastic. JR, if you want, chime in our JMS chat room. Just subscribe to the YouTube channel, Jim Masters TV, and you can actually chat and say hello. We can show your comment on the screen. Great to have him here. So he's doing sort of a double duty.
Money out there, Jim.
Here's another one, too. We mentioned Goldie Hawn, Private Benjamin, right? I
played my first lesbian in that movie. At the time, they told me it was really hard to get a New York stage actress to play a lesbian. I said, what are you talking about? So I made my $700 for the player, and I went in with Eileen Brennan as a couple. And if you can remember, in Private Benjamin, the elevator doors open, and there I am with my hair up, with an army hat and army suit, with my arm around Eileen Brennan, who's also in Army Regatta. And I think I'm pinching her on the ass or something. And that was apparently a part that nobody wanted to do but Sally, but I loved it. I loved it. I went on to play 2 or 3 other lesbians, and I find all of that is great. I live in West Hollywood for a reason. The gay community has supported me almost more than anybody in the world, and the Black community and women and everything diverse is what has given me a platform to be me.
And it probably enriches your, when you're on set or on stage doing what you're doing, it enriches you in such a phenomenal way. Extinction's another one, huh?
This is one you can get right now. It's in DVD and it's streaming. Maybe try Amazon Prime. Probably, I just did this 3 years ago in Thailand.
Yes. Yeah. Just 3 years ago in Thailand, huh? What was that like filming in Thailand and on the set for this?
On your set?
No, on one day I will be over at your house and I will be on your set and we'll do it there. We'll have wine and bread, sourdough bread.
Wine and bread. And, I was a scientist in that movie, which is a different kind of role for me.
Yeah.
And someone was telling me that in Double Jeopardy, I was the district attorney. So I want you budding screenwriters, to think of parts like that. Yeah. Because I love being, the boss. I love being the boss. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Pam Stubbs. Pam Stubbs is a minister in my church.
Yeah. Oh, you didn't see she's been commenting throughout, Pam and David and Toby and Maureen and Jane and Kathleen, everybody chiming in here. But there she is. Pam's here. Yes.
Hey, Pam,
we love Pam. Thank you. Pam said
she comes to SallyKirkland.com and Sally Kirkland on Facebook.
Yeah.
Pam comes every day. And I want you all to know about MSIA.org. That's been my church for 47 years. And all you have to do is go www.msia.org. And you can see everything I'm into.
That's fantastic. So beautiful. High Stakes was another one. Yeah, right? We were talking about that.
Bob Dylan. I made love to Bob Dylan in order for him to give me 2 songs in that movie.
Wait, no, you did that. You did. We have to pause on that one and let that sink in.
Mind you, it wasn't the first time I made love to Bob. I started that in the 70s, but this was the late 80s.
I started that in the 70s.
Right on. He's my favorite lover. I have a very illustrious list of lovers. You don't want to hear that. We don't have enough time.
Just looking at it like we don't have enough time.
Bob is my favorite.
Put a pot of coffee on. Sally Kirkland's our guest, gang. That's amazing.
Get this movie. Somehow it's hard to find. Bob wrote.
And of course, that's you on the cover. Yeah.
And then, those are my implants.
I was looking at the eyes.
Yeah. Yeah. And I have to admit, that's not all of my hair. Part of that is a wig,
You're so authentic and real and open. Most people wouldn't even let us know that. You're the real deal, Sally Kirkland. So what's that for those who haven't seen that movie? Tell us about the movie so they can check it out.
But Jim, it says 4:57. Okay. I play a stripper.
Yes.
Hooker. I'm bringing up my kids, Sarah Michelle Gellar, by myself, and I have a.
Yeah, we're good. We just let it ride. As long as you're here, we're fine. Yeah. We're not up against the clock. Yeah.
Oh, great.
Yeah, we're
Yeah.
good. No, yeah. We're not. We say we'll chat for an hour, but sometimes some of the guests we've gone longer because it's so conversational. It's not an interview. It's not, question, answer, and that's it. It's just flowing. And you're beautiful at it. I mean, you're great with the conversations, just flowing back and forth. This is like a beautiful tennis match. I love it. I try to make it a warm environment for everybody. It's my style, my person. I'm a Libra, so I'm balance and harmony.
Oh, you are. Now, John Roger, my teacher of 50 years, was a Libra.
Libra with Virgo rising. Yeah.
Yeah, that's my father, Virgo.
The Virgo rising.
My father, Virgo. No, I wanted to say something. Oh, yeah, you asked me
about high stakes. Yeah.
High stakes. It was so fun playing that sexy a woman for 90 minutes, and they paid me a shitload of money. They paid me so much money. I made more money in that film than I had made up until then in my whole life. And, I gave them their money's worth, didn't I?
Yes, you did. Yes, you did. Yes, absolutely. You have in everything you've done.
Wow. Yeah, I'm really proud of Revenge.
Archaeology of a Woman?
No, that one's hard to find right now.
Yeah, it is. Tell us about it. Because our audience is very active. They will Google, they will try to find. They're going to be binge watching Sally Kirkland material this weekend, I don't doubt. Tell us about this one.
Good ones, okay? Ed TV is very funny. Ron Howard. I play Matthew McConaughey's mother and Woody Harrelson's mother. Jim Carrey and I and Bruce Almighty. I play the sexy waitress with him.
Oh yes, Ed TV. Yes,
Ed TV. Revenge with Kevin Costner and Anthony Quinn. Kevin and I are incredible. The LA Times said that I stole the movie with him.
There it is on the screen. Revenge. Yeah.
Yeah. Now that's Madeline Stowe. She was incredible. And then Cold Feet is very funny. You'll find that probably on Amazon Prime or YouTube. And
Tom in America.
What's that?
Tom in America.
Tom in America is a short film that won like 8 awards. Burt Young stars with me, and we play a middle-aged couple where he comes out to me that he's gay, and we're in our 70s, and I have like a little nervous breakdown. And it was funny because when we were shooting, Jim, I couldn't get the tears, and my Shih Tzu of 18 years, Shiva. Here this is my.
The audience loves that. Tell us who's there.
This is Shiva. Now Shiva's in heaven, but Shiva sent this doggy to me, and so I couldn't cry. So I pretended that Shiva was in my lap, and I started listening to him purring, or whatever dogs do, and feeling his fur, and talking to him. And pretty soon the tears were coming down, and it was Shiva from heaven, just letting me channel his spirit of 18 years with me being my boyfriend. So the emotion in Tom in America was channeled by my dog. At the Actors Studio, you would call that an emotional recall.
Yes.
Or as if Shiva were here.
Pulling upon that to sort of recreate or feel, not even recreate, but feel the emotion. Absolutely. Bullseye's another.
Oh, yes. Michael. I got to star with Michael Caine and Roger Moore. I have to say something. William Morris was great for me. I got in a fight with him at a certain point and left. That may have been a mistake. But Michael Caine and Roger Moore, every night we were at a different fancy restaurant in London, Scotland, not Ireland, I don't think, but Scotland and London. And they were so funny to listen to their stories. I told Michael Caine, that was 1991, I told him that he should write a book for actors, and by God, he did it. Yeah.
Isn't that something? What was it like being a part of that with Roger Moore and Michael Caine and legends as well?
Yeah. Roger's daughter played my daughter in Bullseye. Yeah.
What was it like working with them on set?
He was wonderful. He was so debonair. And they kind of flirted with me in their British way. of course, Michael was very kind. It was out lady, so I walked down the street. There's no light. It's my wife. Your wife, eh? Keep it clean, keep it fresh, keep it fragrant. Has anybody been to the cemetery? You went to the cemetery last night. I can't remember the lines, but I did a play by Noel Coward called Red Peppers, where we had to do all that. And Michael would sound like that all day, every day, you know. Yeah.
That's amazing. I love
Yeah.
the way you're sliding in and out of the different dialects and
Well,
accents.
what I really love to do is be Southern. My name is Carol Couture. Did you ever hear a Tennessee Williams play called Orpheus Descending? Now, I can't remember my lines, but this was my accent. And for years and years, I cut my teeth on Tennessee Williams plays. And I was always Southern. Even though I come from New York City, I was Southern. So thank you, Tennessee in the South.
That's it. I tell you. Really, really cool. So we got some more really wonderful things down memory lane here that we're taking a look at. This is, here's another one you and I were chatting about, Mothers and Daughters, Tom Bosley and everybody in this one. Tell us about this one.
I can't remember.
Yeah. Tom Bosley's in that one.
Yeah.
And,
I think it was far enough years ago that I honestly don't remember. Maybe was it
270? I mean, that's
no. You mean no? It was when?
No, 270 films and TV shows you've done. Yeah. You don't have to remember all. You've earned your keep, Bruce Almighty. Now that's another one.
I have a friend who's been in 5 or 6 movies with me. The one I remember is called Best of the Best. James Earl Jones, Eric Roberts. Eric Roberts has done 700 films. So whenever I start to brag about my 270 films, I think of my friend Eric Roberts, who he's 15 years younger than me. He's done 700 films. You figure. You know?
Toby says Toby says I can just visualize Sally sitting around a coffee table with Lily Tomlin and Jane Fonda, just laughing hysterically. I don't know why that comes to mind, but it did. That's it.
Oh, thank you.
And they're all.
I love Jim Carrey. He was going through whatever changes he was going through at that time in his life. I don't think people knew what a spiritual thing he was going through.
Yeah, it was major.
He's known for his comedy, Tom, what's his name, the great director who directed all his comedies. But anyway, I'm there with him in the cafe, being the waitress, and they cut this out of the movie, but I had this speech to him where the tears are streaming down my face when I'm telling him that I slept with my sister's husband. and Jim Carrey, being Jim Carrey, is doing all of his looks like, what did you just say? But then when he saw the tears and the take was over, he grabbed me by the hands and he pulled me across the cafeteria and sat me down and just stared at me for a full 3 minutes without saying anything. And pretty soon the tears were coming down his face. And it was such a genuine moment of him revealing his soul to me in the middle of shooting a comedy, right?
Isn't that incredible? Yeah, shooting a comedy of all things, and to have that happen. Stringer was another one too, huh?
Yeah, I don't remember the storyline of that. I was a hooker. I've been great at being a hooker. No, maybe I wasn't a hooker, but I think I was. Yeah. I made a lot of money being a hooker. I'm not going to complain.
Cock.
Now I'm into the mother roles. Okay.
What a segue, huh?
This is 2019, and my son is Zach Ray Sherman. I hope I got that right. Zach Ray Sherman, and he's a brilliant young actor. He gained 40 pounds for the movie. You can see on his figure that he's very fat. I didn't recognize him at the premiere because there was this skinny guy, didn't look anything like the guy I acted with for 3 weeks, right? But anyway, I played this woman that will remind you of Kathy Bates in Misery. She's totally bipolar, nuts, tearing down the scenery. Oh, I had so much fun. I love those roles. So I'm playing those roles now. I'm playing mothers and grandmothers who have a tremendous amount of emotional psychosis and range. They can be very vulnerable 1 second and be a beast the next second.
That's amazing, huh? Or they can have amnesia.
Right. I'm very proud to say I was one of the producers on that movie. As a producer, I talked Ali Sheedy and John Savage into working for pennies, and they came aboard. And so our three names sold the film. I don't know whether it was Cannes or what, but we sold the film with our three names. And I remember that more than I remember the plot. But there's a, I do a lot of nudity in my films. Some people know that, some people don't. I was the first nude actress in 1968 in American theater, and I've been nude, like Marilyn was nude. I mean, what the hell? So in this movie, there's one of the greatest nude scenes I've done in my career. I can't remember the wonderful actor's name who was with me, but it's so sexy that I turn myself on when I see it. Me and this guy, and I have no clothes on with those breasts, Jim. And yeah, Amnesia. Check it out.
Brave New World.
Brave New World, Aldous Huxley. This was a brilliant rendition of this. It was NBC, and I got to play Susan, who's the mother of him. What's his name? We all know him. Peter, famous actor.
I see Leonard Nimoy in there.
Yeah, Leonard Nimoy's here. Peter Graves? No, Peter. Okay, someone will tell me. One of your fans will tell me. Anyway, I didn't make it to the Brave New World because I died from something called, it was a drug that they were trying out to get to the Brave New World, but I died, so I never made it. I had a great death scene. It was in the, what do you call it when they have the morgue and you see all these cement boxes, really, right? Where the dead bodies are. So there I was. I had to be dead for 40 minutes. Do you believe it? Couldn't move for 40 minutes while they got all the footage of me dead.
That's amazing. A Month of Sundays.
This was, we all love him. Come on the waterfront, Marlon Brando. Rod Steiger. This was Rod Steiger's last film before he passed on.
Before he passed.
Yes. Yeah. And it's a very, it's a touching family film. And I was very proud to be in that with him and Dee Wallace Stone and Michael Paré.
I think with the other one, Peter Gallagher.
Peter Gallagher was the other one.
Maureen. Thank you, Maureen.
World. Yeah. Thank you, Maureen. Good for you.
Maureen wins a lovely hug on our lovely cruise. So that was fantastic, huh? JFK too.
Oh, okay. This is an interesting story. I heard that Oliver Stone was going to do JFK, but I want to get my face. It was going to do JFK. And
well, if somebody just tuned in now and they heard that line, they'd be, wait a minute, what?
No, you got ahead of me there. I called him up and I said, Oliver, my mother was friends with Jack Kennedy. My mother put Jackie Kennedy on the cover of Life numerous times. They were friends.
That's right.
You have to let me be in this movie. I was brought up with the Kennedys. And he said, Sally, it's all cast, Sissy Spacek, there's no parts. And I said, you'll write one. I just know you'll write one for me because you need someone who is really right there with my family, who was with the Kennedys. And so 3 days went by and he called me up and he said, Sally, can you come to my studio in Venice on Main Street? And I said, sure. And he said, I want you to improvise for me. So I went there and he said, well, you got me thinking about how great an actress you are and how maybe there's a part of JFK's life. And so I want you to improvise 3 women who played a part in his life. And one was Dorothy Kilgallen, the talk show host, who I think was one of the people that said he was going to be killed before he was killed. And she was knocked off pretty fast.
Yeah.
The other was Susan, I can't think of her last name, but the most famous Chicago talk show host, his daughter was an actress. And the third one was a doctor with the full white, beautiful suit. And so I started with the doctor and I did that improv. And he would tell me that I had heard the president was going to be shot. And so I would react, but as a nurse would. And then Dorothy Kilgallen in front of a microphone. And then Rose Shirami, who was a hooker for Jack Ruby, who brought up her kid by being a hooker and working for Jack Ruby with drugs. And anyway, I started taking my clothes off, and I had a little tape recorder with, I think it was George Harrison again with Apple Jam, and I start stripping, and then the tears are coming down my face. And I said, "They're going to kill the president." And Oliver was just in shock, and he's watching me with all these tears and the nudity and everything. And he said, "How did you do that?" And I said, "Well, I've been a student of Lee Strasberg and Shelly Winters since the 60s. But it's called an emotional recall, Oliver." And he said, "You're hired." And then he said, "Be prepared to go to Dallas, Texas within the week. We're going to start with you." And so they sent me my ticket, and I showed up where I was supposed to show up. And we're out on a dirt road someplace in Texas. And if you remember JFK, it opens with this dirt road, and this woman is saying, can I say it? "You fucking asshole!" And the car is driving away with these gangsters in it, and I'm weeping. And then the next thing, you see Jack Kennedy and Jackie Kennedy coming off the plane, and then they come to me in the hospital with bandages all over, and I'm screaming and I'm crying and I'm saying, "They're going to kill the president," whatever I say. And meanwhile, before that scene was shot, Oliver said, "How do you want to do this?" Which was profound. Oliver Stone, genius, is asking me how I want to shoot it. And I said, "Well, okay. Would you mind asking your crew to wheel me down the hallway of the hospital and let me do some sensory work? Let me get into it of Kennedy being killed and the shock of everything." And they did that. And I said to Oliver, "Don't tell your crew and your actors that we're going to shoot the rehearsal." And so they wheeled me into the room. There's the press. There's the doctors. There's me in the bed with the bandages and screaming and crying. And Oliver is such a genius. He shot it in 8mm, 16mm, 35mm, black and white, and color, all in one take. So you guys, when you see this, you'll know that I opened the film. You'll remember this story, that it was such an honoring of a director to an actor, you know?
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. What a great story. And then Anna, too, what was it like being in this iconic? This has such a cult following too, as well, Sally.
It's interesting. I grew up in a way with Bobby De Niro. I met him in 1967. We dated 67, 68 in there. I brought him by the hand to Shelly Winters, who put him in Bloody Mama with her. And he got his break before I did. I was always jealous of Bobby. And, he had Marty Scorsese. I was supposed to be in Bloody Mama. Roger Corman wanted me in Bloody Mama with him and Shelly Winters. But Roger Corman's brother was having an affair with Diane Varsi, who got the part. Yes, the Me Too movement exists. Yes, yes, yes. Yes, it does. Yes, yes, yes. Anyway, I almost got my scenes with Bobby De Niro. But I bring it up because Anna was, in my mind, in my career, in my acting, what Bobby does in Taxi Driver and Mean Streets and all these iconic films, Godfather. Al Pacino's my friend, too. So we were all taught by Lee Strasberg, and Dustin Hoffman was there. We were all in the same room at the same time with Lee Strasberg teaching us to tear it apart, to go to the edge, to take a chance on maybe you're going to fall in the water, or maybe you're going to drown, or maybe you're going to swim and make it. But you're always going to take a chance. You're not going to fake anything, because the method acting is truth. You have to use your own life. You have to. And you can always use an as if I had to kill somebody. But a lot of the time, you're using what you've experienced in your own life and pulling it into this character, So Anna was that. Anna was my character to end all characters, where I would get to use everything in my life and be an Eastern European, can't get arrested actress, with the beautiful Paulina Porskova, who taught me some Czech, and I taught her some acting. I loved that woman so much. when it got to the third audition, because the director turned me down 2 times before the third, he went to Paulina and he said, because he had a crush on her, he said, "What do you think, Paulina? Would you like to act with Sally Kirkland?" And she said, "Oh, yes, yes." So basically, I think Paulina got me that part because the director had a crush on her.
Isn't that amazing? The way it all works.
The way it all works. Yeah. No.
We dug up this, and
I
I
do want to
just
say one thing before I get off that. Jurek Bagajevich was the director. He was Polish. And he gave me the love letter to end all love letters.
yes. Lee Strasberg. Lily, nice to see you as well. She's a wonderful vocalist.
Hi.
And she was a guest on our show as well. Lee Strasberg in the Actors Studio. Has Sally, or rather her mom, ever met Marilyn Monroe there?
Well, my mom knew Marilyn Monroe, but not from the Actors Studio, from putting her on the pages of Life magazine. And my mother's best friend was my godmother, Mary Leatherby. She was the film editor. So the fashion editor and the film editor got together and they decided to make Marilyn Monroe an iconic Life magazine cover. And boy, they did, didn't they? Those women knew what they were doing with Marilyn.
Yes, they sure did. Absolutely. Yeah. Iconic. Absolutely.
Jim Milton Green, who went on to become vice president of Marilyn Monroe Productions, was my mother's photographer for 10 years. And then said, "Sally Senior, I have to leave you to go be with Marilyn and Marilyn Monroe Productions." So my mother played a very strong part with Marilyn. I didn't get to meet her, although I sat on the floor of some hotel where they did Lee Strasberg private classes every week, waiting for her to get out of the elevator. But somehow she always got out a back door or something. So I never got to see her close up. But if you know me, you know that I played Norma Jean Jack and Me, where I played Marilyn had she lived to be in her 50s. And that's a film to find if you can possibly. I really did a good job. And it was my hurrah, my last hurrah to my wonderful implants. And then I did EdTV, and I took the money from EdTV to have the surgery that NBC showed on television.
Yeah. Yes, they did. And then this too. This
This is
Posey.
called Posey. This was a short film that won many, many, many awards. And in this scene, I'm doing my little, take my hat off to Hinduism. And these were all wonderful actors whose names I can't remember in this moment.
Yeah.
But we won so many festivals. We went from festival to festival to festival. Posey had his own life.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, Chris Pennick, my leading man, passed over last year.
Mm.
He was a wonderful leading man.
Yeah.
So I have to honor him in this moment.
Do you have a preference? You've done so much film and a ton of stage work, and then lots of television. I had mentioned recurring on Days of Our Lives and Roseanne and some of these iconic television series, from soaps to comedies to dramas. When did the television side come in for you? And do you have a preference of film, television, stage, or do you just love it all, Sally?
Quick story. Lee Strasberg's at the Actors Studio. He's telling all of his students, you must only do theater and film. You must never do television. You cannot have enough time with episodic television to do an in-depth method performance. So I went up to him afterwards and I said, "Lee, can you pay my rent?" He said, "What?" And I said, "I can't afford my rent right now, and they're offering me Charlie's Angels, and I'll make like X amount of thousands of dollars being a guest star on Charlie's Angels. And then over here, Starsky and Hutch wants me, and here Beretta wants me. And that's how I can pay my bills." And he looked down, he didn't say anything. He said, "When is Charlie's Angels on?" I said, tomorrow night at whatever time it was." He comes back the next day to the Actors Studio. He said, "Sally Kirkland just proved me wrong. She did a method film performance in an episodic TV show."
Part of the Aaron Spelling Productions family. Yeah, Those,
Yeah.
he was the king in the 70s of all those shows. This is what I was telling you, which I'll share with our viewers, and we welcome everybody if this is your first time here. I'm your host, Jim Masters. You're watching the Jim Masters Show live, entertainment, lifestyle, variety talk show series. We've done about 670 episodes live, 7 days a week. Our guest, if you're just joining us, live from West Hollywood, California, is the incomparable legendary actress, Oscar-nominated, Golden Globe-winning Sally Kirkland. We're sharing some of her life and stories with all of you as well. The variety of material that has been presented to you is extraordinary. Comedy, drama, horror, thriller, soap opera, romance, all of it, and psychological thrillers. And you've been able to master all of them. Some people, they are in one genre and that's their genre and that's it. And that's great. They master that. But you've had the opportunities to be in such a wide variety of material, which I think is fantastic because you're still at it. You're still going. It makes you versatile. You know, when your phone rings and they're looking for Sally Kirkland, they're not looking for a Sally Kirkland type. They want Sally Kirkland because they know she can get it done. And I think that's quite amazing. Was that something you set out? Did you set out to be so versatile, or was there a niche you were working towards, but then people said, this girl can do it all?
There's three things I want to tell you, Jim, with that. One is that my favorite actresses on Broadway, of course, was Geraldine Page and Kim Stanley, and they were character actresses. They weren't Hollywood movie stars. They were brilliant, brilliant, genius character actresses who could do different characters every time they went to bat. So that's who I was following in the footsteps of. I love people like Jenna Rollins, you know, who's gorgeous, but at the same time, she's got all that character, that street smarts. The other thing that I wanted to tell you was you were talking about, help me, you're talking about, I wanted to, oh, I lost it. Okay. Something about what you were saying.
Your versatility and how you've been able to take on all these roles. Was that planned, or did people start realizing that you are versatile and they just started offering all these different kinds of roles that you've taken on, which is incredible?
Yeah, I'm a character actress, meaning that I change character every time. I like to think I do. And out there in the audience, someone will say, "Oh my God, that's me." She's doing, "Oh, that's me," because I'll change it up. I bore myself when I do the same thing twice. You know,
I
Shelly
know.
Winters was my godmother. Shelly Winters was my mentor. I lived with Shelly Winters in New York City and in Beverly Hills. I was her minister when she passed over. I gave her the last rites. Oh my God, Shelly Winters taught me so much about being a character actress. And maybe some of you are too young to know her career, but she had
Oh,
um,
sure. It's incredible. Yeah.
won 2 Oscars for Diary of Anne Frank and Patch of Blue, I think. And so I got to live with her, live with the woman. And she was hard on me, you know. She would tell me when I was being bullshit, you know.
And yes, what are some things that you did learn from her?
Okay. I learned from Shelly Winters, when the audience thinks they're going to laugh, make them cry. When they think they're going to cry, make them laugh.
Oh, I like that.
And
I like
so
that.
my career became a constant journey of the truth. And you've got the comedy mask here and you've got the tragic mask here, as you've seen it displayed in different ways in your life. And I have to surprise myself, Jim. I can't know what I'm going to do next. It's got to be so truthful that something can come out of me that I have no idea where it came from. You know?
Yeah, right. So what inspires you? Where are the reserves? What do you pull from when you're taking on a character? And how do some people, when they take on a character, they get so immersed. And I've asked this of other guests on this show and my professional work in television, radio. I've asked, sometimes you can get into a situation where the role is so intense that you can't separate Sally Kirkland from the role. Some actors and actresses have said that. stage, film, television, whatever it may be. How about you? How do you separate? There's elements of who Sally is and her experiences and her wit and wisdom and everything. There's elements in it. But how are you able to separate yourself from a very intense, emotionally draining role that's given you?
Well, I'll give you an example. Roger Corman, I love. Roger Corman and Julie Corman, his wife, kept me going all through the 70s, where I lived on television and Roger Corman. It wasn't until the 80s that I got those great roles in films, but or 90s. But I lost it again, Jim. What did I start to say? You said, "What do I do to get inspired?"
Yeah.
Okay. His name is Jesus Garcia. He's a brilliant actor. He made 2 films as a director and star called The Way Shower and Spiritual Warriors, and I was lucky to be in those films. He was on John Roger, my teacher's staff, for 26 years. Does he know a lot about spirit? Yes. Is he a brilliant actor? Yes. It's hard to find a man with that kind of sensitivity be a real man and absolutely break your heart
Yeah.
with vulnerability. So Jesu was cast. Roger Corman said to me, "I want you to star in The Heat of Passion." And I said, "Okay, who's going to be the man that I have to be so erotic with?" I said, "I don't think I can be erotic with somebody you just cast in a casting office." And he said, "Well, what do you have in mind?" And I said, "Well, there's this young man. His name is Nick Corey. He was on Nightmare on Elm Street with Johnny Depp. And I find him so sexy and so awesome. And if you would cast him and give him 40,000, I'll subtract 40,000 from my salary." It was something that crazy that I said to Roger. And by God, he went for it, you know? And so I had this amazing young man. We both had the same spiritual teacher. We both believed in Christ. We both believed in what's called the mystical traveler consciousness, which embodies all souls. We had so much of the same things, being an actor and being a spiritual student. And I have to add in here, Lee Taylor Young, my girlfriend since 1972, is also a Reverend Lee Taylor Young in the Church of the Movement of Spiritual Inner Awareness. And we did this movie. And people tell me it's the most erotic film that Roger Corman ever did, which is saying something. That is saying something. Now, I've only seen it twice, but I get fan mail from all over
The world. Yeah.
from men who saw this film. My girlfriend, Lainey Kazan, said online in an article, she said, "I've never met a man that didn't want to sleep with me." Well, I could say that about that character. I don't think this woman in The Heat of Passion ever met a man that didn't want to sleep with her.
And you wonder why she was cast on a soap opera, folks. So perfect. What was it like? Speaking of that, I mean, they're still talking about the Bob Dylan stuff. They're still viewers are still hooked on that. They're like, wait a minute, she did what? Days of Our
Bob
Lives.
wants to be an actor. Put him on your show. He wants to act. He wants people to know the side of him that's an actor. I almost got him in cold. I almost got him in movies with me, but I called up his manager.
You're talking about Bob Dylan, yeah.
And I said, "Jeff, can you let Bob out for a while from tour to do this thing with Tom Waits and Keith Carrey?" He said, "Sally, don't talk him into it. He really wants to do it. He really wants to do it. Don't do that. It's a lot of big concerts, Sally, all over the world, Sally." I said, No. Bob really wants to be an actor. Anyway, I don't know where I went with that, but
well, you're talking about, well, it's funny. I co-hosted this Great Performances special on PBS celebrating the 30th anniversary concert that he did. I believe it was maybe Madison Square Garden, and it was really amazing to learn about his life.
There at that concert.
You were at that concert. There was a PBS special that we did just a few years back, and I was the co-host, and we shot the segments at WNET 13 in New York for PBS National for Great Performances, and it was just really amazing. I was doing a ton of research about Bob's life, and really amazing. Really, oh yeah, that's
water.
Well, California, is there any water at all anywhere in California? It's a little dry there.
Not this week. Okay.
Do you want to get some?
Yeah.
I can vamp, and you can take us on a tour of the house again.
Oh, okay. It's kind of no lights are on over here. That's Joan of Arc Oh, let's see. You can't see really. Oh dear. I have about 30 scarves behind me. I don't know if you can see them all.
Do you collect
I
them?
like them. Yeah, I collect scarves because I don't like my neck. Um, so I cover my neck whenever I have the opportunity because I'm 80 years old and I just would
Which
rather.
is very hard to believe. I know that everybody's shocked in hearing that, I'm sure.
Yeah, thank you for saying that, Jim. Um, I, uh, I, I did 35 years of yoga. That helped me. Um,
Toby
and
asked, does she dance? Do you have you danced over the years as well?
In the early years, yeah. I studied with a man named Danny Nagrin, a jazz teacher in New York. Um, and there was a guy, what was his name? He was everybody's favorite Latino jazz dancer. Um, so in the early days, I could dance great. Did you see me on Arsenio Hall where I danced with him and I
Yes.
on his lap? And he said,
Yes.
"Touch a black man's hair."
Yeah, exactly. You know, I dug something up here, which is kind of cool. You mentioned how Shelly Winters, the iconic Shelly Winters, um, which people remember from so many incredible shows, but
I
she
know
also
for
she
sure.
would guest star on like the Lucy Show, and she was on everything, all the talk shows, and Johnny Carson and all the rest. And you were mentioning too, before I show this little clip we found, you've been on them all too, right? Merv
Because
Griffin, all
she taught me to do that.
the talk
William
show
Morris,
circuit.
William Morris, I forgive myself for judging myself for maybe saying something that you won't like, but William Morris told me, "You're an Oscar nominee, you're a Golden Globe winner. Don't do Howard Stern, Sally." No, 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 I've got to do Howard Stern. Sally, don't do Arsenio Hall. So what did I do? I did everything they told me not to do. But I had such a blast, and Shelly thought I was great, and she would be in the green room. Whereas when she was on, you just said it, Johnny
Johnny
Carson, I would be in the
Carson,
green room, and I would be learning from Shelly
the way
how
she
to
did
do
it.
talk shows. And
Yeah.
she said to me once, she remember when she threw the water or the liquor.
Yes. There's that clip is on YouTube. I forget who she did it to, but yes. Yeah.
Okay, so Sally was on Rush Limbaugh's talk show, TV talk show, and he started putting down women. Shelly Winters, here we go, and the water in his face, and he was really shocked. He
That
didn't
had to
expect that.
be, yeah.
So that
But
was me. That was me in the Me Too movement and channeling Shelly.
so you got to be on all the legendary shows too. Merv Griffin. We talk about this show sort of it has a modern flair, modern vibe of today, but it also has sensibilities of the old school Dick Cavett, Carson, Merv, Mike Douglas, Regis Philbin.
Stop with Merv. Stop with Merv.
Merv,
1968. I was
Merv
dating the
Griffin.
casting director of the show, and he
You
put
have
me on.
amazing stories, I tell you, and the viewers are loving them. I could throw anything at you, and you've got an epic story that goes with it.
Right on. So I tell Merv Griffin that I'm going to teach him yoga, and there was only one other person, Richard. One of your fans will know Richard Gittleman, who had been on TV once. I became the first person to do yoga on television on Merv Griffin. No one had ever demonstrated the sun worship and the corpse pose and the spinal twist and all these things. And I can't do it now, but back then I could do all these amazing things with my body. And Merv would, I would get him with his shoulder stand, with his feet way up in the air, and all the money coming out of his pockets, right? And he was so proud that he did that. And then I don't know if I got Dick Cavett to do it. I think I tried. I think I got David Susskind to do it. But wherever I went, Joan Rivers always had me doing yoga. They would let me do my yoga. That was my thing, Jim. That was my platform. And I was very grateful that you talk show hosts knew where it should be. Yeah.
That's amazing. You mentioned, again, the importance of Shelly Winters in your life, and we dug up this really cool archival clip here for our viewers to enjoy. And again, if you're just joining us, we're having an epic conversation with Hollywood royalty here. This is Sally Kirkland, live exclusively on the Jim Masters Show live series. Thanks for joining us, everybody. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel, Jim Masters TV. If you're enjoying this, give it a thumbs up on our YouTube channel, a like, and leave a comment for us as well. This goes back to the 70s. It's a quick conversation with you and Shelly, and she's sort of laying down the land a little bit and explaining a few things, and we'll watch it, and then we'll come back, and you can comment on it. Here it is.
When someone asked me when I was like 10 years old, what do you want to be when you grow up? I said, a saint. And then I realized that they looked at me like, move over, Charlie, you know, so I said, a movie star?
I mean, I don't think television matters at all. I think it's like acting on toilet paper. Nobody remembers it. I mean, it's good to make money, and it, unless you do something like the Roosevelt thing, or, what's her name?
Jill Hustling.
No.
Did you see Hustling?
No.
Because she got Lombard out of that, and then out of Lombard she
Lombard is terrible.
I know,
it's a hunk of crap.
She's got a whole bunch
your values are getting so crazy,
but
darling.
Shelley,
You're such a good career.
She's got a career.
No,
She's
she
gone
hasn't.
from one film to another.
No, she hasn't. Going from one film to the other doesn't make you an actress.
No, but she's in a better position career-wise than I am, not having done Hustling, which I happen to have been up for at the time. Just giving.
You must never ever say that again in your whole life, that I was up for something and I didn't get it. Promise me.
Oh, okay.
Promise me from now on in, if that happens to you, keep it a secret. Like Diana Ladd once said to me, I don't understand, I've been in 50 major television shows. And I said, don't ever tell anybody that. You know, Bonanza, Gunsmoke, so forth. Because it sounds, well, if you get my God, if you did all these things and nothing happened, something must be wrong. And
well,
you are not, you're
types. There are different ways to go.
Shut up, I'm talking, I'm older. Listen, Sally, you don't fit into any commercial, cliche type. You just don't. What you have to do, and it's a question of waiting and also pushing, is to try to get a part that's very good for you. I had to wait for Double Life, and I was about as old as you are now before I got it. And I did, then they didn't have television, but I ran in and out of maybe 10 or 15 pictures. And until I got Double Life with a good director, when I finished, and a good writer, I was, they said, well, she's sort of a Jean Arthur thing. I was size 10 then. She's, no, maybe she's the Jean Harlow type. Maybe she's this type. Recently I heard somebody say we were looking for a Shelly Winters type. I felt very flattered. But you can't, see, that's, yeah, I mean, you should look as well as you can. And do everything, you know, I had to have teeth capped because they were crooked. I didn't do the bottoms because I thought that was too much. But I had a broken tooth. You do everything you can to look as well as you can. But what you have to do is make them understand that then when they buy you and you help their picture, they are lucky, not you are lucky.
Yeah,
when they hire you, they're lucky. But that's not the attitude you have, my sweet. You're saying, well, I almost got that part. I was up for that part, so forth.
No, I felt it was their loss. I felt I would have been absolutely a genius in that role. Really, I did. I couldn't understand why they didn't see it the way I saw it. No, that's usually my attitude, and you would be amazed how much my attitude is that I feel that I am good, that they could be making millions of dollars off me right now.
I went through the thing that you're going through, and I think I tried to look like, I made my hair pink and made big lips, you know, and I would hold my face like this. And, you know, and you know, try to look as sexy as possible. And luckily, and it was in the theater, I found my own character, my own being true to me, and that is what they bought. Instead of trying to imitate what you think they want.
The biggest criticism I get is that I am too much me. That it doesn't, as you say.
Well, who's ever giving you that criticism doesn't know what they're talking about, because that's what you will eventually sell. There's only one you, just like your fingerprints. And that is what nobody can imitate.
Wow.
That's amazing. What a conversation, how epic, and what a mentor in so many ways to have Shelly Winters guide you in that way. She was really reassuring you. She was saying, look, you know, you'll take on these roles, but always keep the essence of who you are within and let that shine, because that's what really is going to propel you forward and keep you going in this path. Quite amazing. Do you remember that conversation with Shelly?
Yeah, it was at her house on Oakhurst Drive in Beverly Hills. And right behind her, if the camera had gone back, you would have seen a lot of plaques on the wall, awards, and then directly to her right in the living room there were the Oscars. Um, she she was my mother. What can I say? In another lifetime. That's the only way to put it. I have a young man, Cody Galloway, who's my son. In another lifetime, and in this lifetime, he's been my right hand person since 2012. He's only 37 or something. But I believe that when you meet someone and you have that soul connection and you say, "Oh my God, I know this person." I mean, I know you. That's the way I felt about Dylan. I know you from a long time ago. And Shelly and I had that. And I think she knew that, even though she said she was an atheist. She said she was an atheist. But right before she died, she wanted me to do all of the spiritual words. She had me read sections of the Bible. Not that she knew the Bible, but she wanted me to do Reverend Sally and to call in the light. And God bless Shelly. I mean, she gave me the strength and courage to be an independent woman, not to rely on men. And my mother was light years ahead in that department too. My mother was the first person to show the miniskirt, the no bra look, the sports look for women, to bring Italian fashions to this country and create commerce between Italy and US. They're strong women, Shelly and my mother. I've been very blessed.
On many different levels, absolutely. Look at this photo here.
Tom Waits and Keith Carradine, they were so hip and so cool and so funny. It was hard for me not to laugh with those guys.
Yeah.
Boy, was I skinny. I wish I looked like that now.
Yeah. Archaeology of a Woman is another
Yeah,
great.
yeah. I only wish that our distribution didn't fall apart. We had great reviews. A lot of like Deadline said that it was my next honor, all of that. But then when it came to distribution, nobody could agree with anybody, and so it's very hard to find this film.
Yeah.
Some people have it in DVD. Somehow the copies of it got out in New York, but yeah, I had dementia, and I had Alzheimer's, and I had to really go there,
Yeah.
and it was.
What was that like, taking on a role like that, so serious and important, which a lot of people are dealing with now in their lives, caring for a
Yeah,
loved one who maybe has dementia,
yeah,
Alzheimer's? We had, yeah, I mean, I think we all know somebody who's dealing with it, or maybe even is suffering from it themselves.
yeah.
That was a very important project, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. And like I said, the New York critics absolutely loved it. They tried to get me my next Oscar, but it was just one of those pieces of karma. It didn't line up. The producers and the distribution plan, whatever, it didn't line up. And that's where I should have been the producer, huh? That's what I
Yeah,
said to you guys. This is the way we're going to do it.
that would have been, that's a definite on that one. Absolutely. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Look at that.
Oh,
Wow.
wow. This is one of my favorite pictures. Um, this is 1989. I was just playing high stakes, and an amazing gay Italian Latino Mexican designer named I can't believe Earth. Please help Sally remember Giorgio di Sant'Angelo, who studied with Picasso
Look what
and Earl.
happened when you requested that and it came to you. It's
Really,
amazing.
yeah. And Giorgio would design these dresses for me, and they were skin tight. You've seen a lot of them, the ones that glow, the pink one. Oh my God. And I just loved, I was on top of my game. I was a William Morris client. They put me in The Haunted, which was such a good move. They put me with Kevin Costner, which was such a good move, in Revenge. They put me, like you said, Brave New World, so many things. But then, in fairness to him, my agent, Michael Green, who was my manager back in the late 80s, so I've been with him since the late 80s in one way or another, he put me in Ed TV, you know? So
Yeah.
I've had very good luck with representation. Women out there, young women, don't take no for an answer. when I wanted that part, Anna, I stood out in the street in the rain, waiting for the director to come out of the building so that I could go up one more time and say, "You're never going to find anybody as good as me for Anna." And I would bring flowers and newspapers. Oh my God, you got to do it. You got to set back then. And I sent telegrams. You could do telegrams back then. Do emails. I mean, put yourself out there. I think it's a well-known fact that my Oscar campaign was legendary. I didn't have studios behind me. I didn't have any money. I went to the SAG after Federal Credit Union, and I took out a loan for $7,000, and I bought the back page of Weekly Variety, Variety. And I had already gotten all these great reviews from Rex Reed at Caine and Norman Mailer, the writer, and oh my God, I can't remember her name. She was the LA Times critic who got me to the Oscars. Why can't I think of all this? But what I'm saying is I took what little money I had, I put it on the back of this Variety, and one man who happened to have money, he was elderly, I think he was like 90 something, he saw it and he said to a mutual friend of ours, "Can I meet her?" And so we met, and he said, "Would you go to Paris with me?" And I said, "Oh, David," his name was David Buntsman. I said, "David, I have a boyfriend." He said, "No, no, 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 no. You'll have your own hotel suite. I just want to experience Europe with you. And then when we come back here, would you take me to the Hollywood parties? I would love to meet all the actors." I said, "Sure." And he said, "In return, I'm going to pay for this ad campaign for the Oscar and the Golden Globe and the Independent Spirit Award." And so who knows? You never know what your karma is going to bring to you. I knew David Buntsman from some other time and place where he just said, "Let's do it. Let's do this." And we didn't have a studio behind us. There's somebody, I wish I could remember his name, who wrote an incredible article on the campaign for Anna. You guys, you got to find it. It's an amazing, brilliant article on what you can do if all you have is yourself and your product, And like Jim has got this product, and he's doing great, and he's diverse. He goes out into different directions with it. And I take advantage of Jim because he's letting me talk for an hour and 49 minutes.
Isn't that amazing? Isn't that wonderful?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh,
it's incredible.
I just want to tell young people, don't ever give up. Please don't give up.
Don't
Sally K, MSIA at yahoo.com. Sally K, MSIA at Yahoo. I'll cheer you up if you get too depressed. That's from Cold Feet. And I cannot tell a lie. I had them put some extra hair in there. I wish my hair looked like that every day, but that's me with some very good work from the hairstylist. And Tom Waits is so funny. James Earl Jones, I met him before I met anybody back in 1960, off-Broadway, New York. It was called The Love Nest. It may have been a few years later. The Love Nest, starring James Earl Jones and Sally Kirkland. We were in our 20s, and there we were off-Broadway. And look at him. Is he the greatest? That's me, the sexy waitress with Jim Carrey in Bruce Almighty. And I'm telling Jim that I created this tomato soup just for him, and that as God, he could part the waters of the tomato soup. That's Nick Nolte, who I had the good grace to live with as his friend for 5 years, and his woman, Clyde. And they have beautiful Sophia now as their daughter. I was there when she was born. So Nick was nice enough to put me in his film. It was called Off the Black. And I can't remember what state we went to. Puddles is the last name of the director. He was wonderful. At any rate, that was an opportunity where I didn't ask for it. He just offered it because he was my friend, and he knew that he was the star of the movie.
Yeah, that's amazing. Here's our mutual friend, Mel England. We have two. We have Jasper Cole, and I was talking to Jasper earlier. He's filming he's wrapping up a Christmas movie. So Jasper says he sends his love. And Mel, when I was chatting with Mel, Jasper was a guest on our show. Mel England was a guest on our show as well. And Mel was boarding a plane to go from East Coast back to West, and he sends his love as well. And Mel, of course, is on the left. You're in the middle there, and think it's
Mel
Vincent.
is another son of mine, just for the record.
Right.
And his
Yes.
dad just passed over, and so I hope he knows that I'm his mom right here for him. Vincent DePaul is over here, and you mentioned Jasper. Jasper and I, Jasper's going to produce an amazing film, extraordinary script. I wish I could remember the screenwriter's name, called, oh dear, oh God. Ah!
That was a great reaction there. It's like you're on a game show and you're trying to figure out the answer because it's $1 million prize.
Right on. The Something Boys.
It's
The
one of
Something
those film one of those phone a friend moments, right?
Jasper, call me when I need you. Jasper was my manager for 10 years there. And I was his first quote name client.
Wow.
And he's doing great. He's an actor, he's a producer, he's a manager, he's a writer.
He is, yes.
And he changes his name. He's Charles Malcolm, or he's
Yes.
Cole. This is well, I think I have a thing about India. So my Julia Gerard, my designer, went to India and got all these amazing silks and made these jackets for me. I have it in red, blue, gold. This was orange. And then I got from the Hare Krishna temple, I bought some scarves. That's the Hare Krishna scarf. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama. See, you get me going. You know, I'll go. I'll go. Krishna was very important in my life. And Shiva, Lord Shiva and Lord Krishna. I'm not sure. I think this is Lord Shiva, but it could be Krishna. Can you see him? Yeah.
Oh yeah, we sure do. Yeah.
Yeah. And this is West Hollywood.
What a nice view.
That's Wilshire Boulevard, way down there where the white building is. And this is my little balcony. And here are my tree. Here's my tree. I don't know if you can see it. It needs more water. And let's see.
And you used to be in Malibu, right? You were telling me for years you were in Malibu.
25 years in Malibu Beach.
Yeah. Yeah.
And there's the Oscar nomination in the black frame. And here is the Golden Globe. It's very heavy. And next to it is the Independent Spirit Award. And then all these other awards, I don't know. I can't tell you the names of them, but I managed to get Best Actress. Let's see.
What do you feel when you're in that room? That's obviously a very comfortable and warm sort of place of solace, that room you're in, huh?
Yeah, it's a museum, sort of. But I think I lost you. You're not on the screen anymore.
Oh yeah, no, we got the full screen. We're seeing the house.
Oh, you are? Oh my God. Okay, so then here you have more of these jackets I wear, fuchsia and red and gold, brown and blue. And then you come into my library when the lights are on, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of books. And here are my Indian jackets, orange and red and purple, pink. Now I can't use cassettes anymore, can I? A lot of these are Bob Dylan and John Roger, Bob Marley. One of these days I will clean up the office, but this is the office. And then here's Jesus, my beloved Jesus. And here, my church gave me the Minister of the Year award. It's hiding behind this lamp. And this is a lady that I figured was pregnant. And here's Frida, who I adore. I know that a lot of women out there have gone through physical handicaps, and I have some. I have a fake knee. My right knee is fake, and I have metal and screws in my foot, And Frida had polio, and she painted the paintings of herself while in bed. She had a mirror on the ceiling, and she would sit in bed, and then she would paint what she saw in the mirror, which were the portraits of her. And here you have more Sally books. Here's an angel I did. Yeah. Can you see it?
Oh
Jim?
yeah. Is that a portrait of you?
Sort of. Thank you. I'll take that as a compliment.
It looks like you.
Thank you. Thank you. I got pretty good doing myself after a number of years.
Now, are those in galleries? Are they available for sale, or do you just do it for the enjoyment of it?
Right now, I'm currently not painting, but I'm going to be within the year. I am going to do another show. The last one I did was 20 years ago or so, and I did sell a lot of paintings, but these I want to keep. They all have a story behind them. This one here, joy no matter what, peace no matter what, love it all, bliss, health, vitality, forgive it all. And I like wearing the little Hindu symbol in the forehead, the bindi. And this is a collage I did with Star for Hollywood, and then the little baby. I've always thought a child shall lead us. And then here's my teacher, John Roger, the way he looked in the years before he passed. Here he is laughing. Here's John Morton, who's the spiritual director now of the Church of the Movement of Spiritual Inner Awareness. Handsome dude, isn't he? He's married to my friend Lee Taylor Young. Marilyn Monroe, she has to be somewhere. There's Yogananda, and there's Swami Satchidananda I told you about. I'm a CNN freak. There is a painting of John Roger up there. There's a self-portrait with me with big boobs. A lot of pills. I hope you didn't see that. Let's see. Well, that brings us back to 0 and almost 6 o'clock, Jim.
Oh, never zero. More full circle, right? It can never be back to 0. That was very nice. That was beautiful to do that.
I mean, it's not fancy. It's not your,
No, but it's warm and it's comfortable, and you have the essence of Sally Kirkland all around you there's creation and art and inspiration all around you, which is extraordinary. A lot of people don't have that type of scenario in their home, because I mentioned, you're a painter and poet and a lot of these other things that people might not to realize, and now they get a chance to see some of that extraordinary work. And Jen Barry in Pennsylvania saying awesome paintings.
Thank you.
Lily's saying, wow, we were blessed to get a tour of Sally's library and art gallery. That's basically what it is. Yeah. And also, too, Jane is saying, lovely place, Sally. And
thank you.
Christine in North Carolina, thanks for giving us a tour of your home and showing us much of your artwork and collectibles with these interesting stories as well. David Thistle is saying, what an amazing and accomplished woman. Jen's saying, so good to be here with Sally now. Sally, you are a lovety. You're one of the Jim Master Show loveties now, huh?
Thank you. I'm honored.
You can get Golden Globes and Oscars and Tellys and Emmys and Peabodys, Grammys, but when you get a loveity from the Jim Master Show live, how does that make you feel? Are your feet tingling, Sally?
Can you see me?
We see you. Yes, we sure do.
My computer, we only have I'll go another 10 minutes. Let's see. What did you just ask me?
I was saying that, in this career, you can win Oscars and Grammys and Tellys and Peabodys and Emmys and Golden Globes and Grammys. But when you get designated a loveity on the Jim Masters Show, how does that make you feel? Are your feet tingling right now?
Yeah, they are sort of. They've been tingling in 3 or 4 different places today.
We'll have you come back for part 2 to discuss that.
Jim, I want to see your face. Is it gone totally?
Nope. Yeah, we're here. We see you.
You
Yeah.
do?
Yeah. Can you see this photo?
No. Oh dear.
Oh, so you
Uh,
don't see us. We see
right.
you.
Okay.
Yeah. So when
Okay.
so your computer's not showing us to
No,
you?
it's
Yeah.
okay. It's my vanity. I mustn't think about my vanity. Um,
Well, we definitely see you, and we see these lovely. When you watch this back later on our YouTube channel, you can see all these lovely photos that we're showing here of you over the years in so many different roles and so many different parts. And this one, maybe I can narrate this. It's kind of cool. It's more recent. You're sitting on a yellow, looks like a little scooter. I don't know if you're in a,
oh,
yeah.
yeah, with a cute guy. No, aren't I with
No,
a cute guy?
no, you're by yourself. I don't know if you're in an art gallery or a museum, but it's really cool. You're sitting there. You've got sort of this gold looking jacket on. You've got like a teal scarf. Your
Hmm.
hair is down long, and you're on the scooter, which is on a stand. Very, very cool.
Oh, thank you, Jim.
I tell you.
You make the ego burst with joy and should be humility, gratitude. That's the word, gratitude. You know, the
Gratitude.
two most important words in the English language, other than love, in my mind, is gratitude and forgiveness.
Oh, yes, absolutely right. It's very important. And we were talking about that earlier. Kindness and empathy is so very important as well.
Hmm.
Absolutely. Yeah. We're just looking at some more phenomenal shots of you over the years. Um, so, you know, what are some of those blessings and joys in your life that keep you in the game, keep you doing your thing, keep you expressing and sharing art for all of us after all these years, Sal?
Um, well, I hate boredom. I hate being bored. Can't stand being bored. So, if an artist, a fellow artist, you're a fellow artist, um, brings me some kind of platform for me to do my art, literally or poetically, um, I will jump at it because I hate getting caught up in my mind. Um, Last night, I wasn't going to tell this story, but I couldn't sleep the last 4 days. The last 4 days, toss and turn and toss and turn. I don't know if any of your fans out there have had insomnia, but I've dealt with that.
I've had a little of it during the pandemic. Can't get to
Oh,
bed till 3 o'clock in the morning.
yeah.
You and I were talking before we went live on the air. Some of the insomnia might just have been the sheer excitement of coming on the Jim Masters show. When
Oh.
you knew that was happening, it was like, oh my God, I can't sleep. And
Well, maybe that happened to me too, because to be completely honest, I did not sleep 5 minutes last night. Not 1 minute, not two, three, not 5 minutes. It was one of those nights where my mind
was
would
on
not
and
let me
racing.
alone. And I started chanting and chanting the Anna you. And I chanted and chanted and chanted. I played a John Roger tape. I looked at my favorite, photographs of him and Bob and everything I would do, but I couldn't get past. I'm not going to sleep tonight. I'm just going to not sleep tonight. That's what's going on. I'm not sleeping tonight. Cool it, Sally. Just get with it. But it got worse and worse in my mind. And this morning, I was covered in what do you call it? Sweat. I was
Yeah.
just totally sweating all over. I called my MD. I said, "Help me, help me." And so he said, okay, let's deal with this. So, in fact, I am going to try a medication for insomnia that I have never tried before. And tonight will be the first time. And it's not a heavyweight, it's not dangerous to the body, but I'm really excited about it because I
Have
can't
you
wait to
tried
sleep.
have you tried the over-the-counter stuff and it just doesn't work? Doesn't
Yeah,
do the trick.
melatonin and all that. Yeah, no, but
Melatonin, right? Yeah.
no, when I was at Nick Nolte's house for 5 years, I couldn't sleep out there. I don't know what it was. And I would go into the kitchen in the middle of the night and make hot milk, put honey in it, hot milk, hot milk. Now, if any of you guys, you Jim lovables,
The
want
Lovities, yeah.
yeah, write Sally K, MSIA,
Yeah.
.com and tell me your method to get through insomnia.
Mm.
I would be totally open to be educated.
Well, they say that you should don't have, I think is it don't have any blue light, have, believe it or not, red light in your room. Red flips things around. Blue light tricks your mind into thinking that it's sunny and you're supposed to be outside and it's still daylight, where the red flips it, they say, and sort of gets your mind to realize that it's nighttime. So red lights, because, a lot of the computer screens, TV screens, cell phones emit the blue light. And so many people are on all the technology and all these computers and screens, and they watch TV and all these computers. They're checking their phones every 5 minutes, and then they go to bed. And all of that is still happening in your mind and visually. So what do you do? Do you go to sleep in a cool room that's dark and quiet? And do you get off technology for an hour or so before, and then maybe do some meditation or put on soft music? I love white noise, like a fan or something that can put me out. If I hear a little.
CNN gives you an app for calm. I don't know if you've noticed it.
I've seen those commercials. Yeah.
Yeah, it's wonderful. I wish more people would do that with the use of television.
Oh, you know what? Jen Barry in Pennsylvania.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder if you might feel, if you're in tune with any of this, that because there's a good, powerful moon right now, maybe that's pulling at you, you think? The moon?
Well, all you astrology buffs, you know that we're in Mercury in retrograde till the end of the month.
Right.
So
do you get affected by that when that happens? Does that?
Yeah, I get manic. Yeah.
Yeah.
But no, I have wonderful guided meditations with John Roger, and I just didn't happen to do it last night.
Okay.
It was
So
like
that's
being too lazy to do the things you know how to do. But I'm on a journey now.
Yeah.
I was just going to say,
you don't have it, you tell. Yeah. When you sort of go into a withdrawal when you don't have one of those sessions with him, right?
No, not withdrawal. You mean in a good way or a bad way?
In a way where you can tell you didn't have it, so you can't get sleep. It sort of knocks your rhythm off a little bit if you don't do it.
No, I don't think. No, I don't know. I don't know how to answer that, but I know that what I am going to do in the very near future is my girlfriend Lori Matson is a reverend. She's going to put an app on my phone, my iPhone, with John Roger talking all night long. So it'll be right, tiny little phone with my pillow, my app. So I'm going to do that.
Something your mind can focus on that and take you away from the
But I was horrified, Jim Masters. I was horrified that I was up all night the night before your show. What was I going to do? How was I going to pull energy out of, this?
What happened?
Hello.
And look what happened during this show. An amazing conversation, all these viewers commenting, and then your phone rings and all these sounds were happening and bells going off. I mean, look at what occurred for like a 2-hour wonderful conversation here. Lily says journaling is the best for her to empty and calm her mind. She journals before she goes to bed. Dwight said, the episode you did on Roseanne was amazing, playing David Healy's abusive mother.
Yeah.
On Roseanne.
Thank you for saying that. A lot of men have said that to me, almost like they were young David, and their mother slapped them in the face like I did. When we shot that, tell me your name again.
That was Dwight.
Dwight. That's funny because my friend is Dwight Yoakam. When we shot that, I said to Roseanne, you're not really going to have me hit Johnny Galecki, are you? And she said, yes, that's the way I remember it. And I thought, oh my God. And I said to Johnny, so you're up for this? She wants me to really hit you. And he says, yeah, do it. And I did it. And I swear, out of all the performances I've done in my life, more people reacted to that moment in that show, feeling sorry for me that I had got to that terrible place with my son, and feeling sorry for him to put up with an abusive mother. And it was a gift from Roseanne. God bless Roseanne for giving me that.
Yeah, really amazing when you think about it. Your entire body of work, absolutely amazing. Like I said, the breadth and scope and variety, extraordinary. And movies that are coming out, you can't really discuss the details, but movies and productions that are on the cusp of being completed, which is exciting. How when you look at the epic amount of work, constant work around the world you've traveled, stages, film, television, all of it. It's a beautiful ride, and I think you've been blessed in many ways. Not that everything is perfect, nothing's perfect, and not every day is ideal, but you've seemed to be able to maximize it, make the most of it, learn from some of the masters, the Shelly Winters and the others, listen and absorb, and then paying it forward yourself as a mentor, an educator, and a teacher too, right?
I didn't do a bad job with Sandra Bullock, did I?
And all those names you listed again, for anybody that joined us late, list some of the names of the folks that you've mentored and taught.
Okay, Sandra Bullock was going to quit acting before her teacher, Sally, told her she was going to be a big star. I taught Roseanne and Barbara Streisand and Liza how to cry on cue. I helped Philip Michael Thomas get the series Miami Vice. He hadn't worked professionally the way he wanted to for 15 years. And I worked with him for 5 days straight, doing emotional recalls. And finally, he was down on the floor weeping, and I had him do a forgiveness exercise. I forgive myself for judging myself in a laundry list of whatever came up. And finally, when he got all the tears out of him, he got up on stage and he sang his own music that he had written. And that was Sunday. And Monday he went in and he nailed the lead in Miami Vice.
Yeah. I tell you, that's really absolutely amazing. Are you still doing that? Are you still teaching?
Oh, you know who else I taught, Jim? Kathy Griffin was my student at the Lee Strasberg Theater Institute. Yeah. And I told her, I said, Kathy, you think you're a dramatic actress, but I think you're a comedian. I think you should go over to the Groundlings. And she did. And then she put together her one-woman show and began doing it in the various comedy clubs. And I'm not even thinking of all the people. There's so many people.
It's incredible, isn't it? It's just, you've touched
2,000 people that I taught.
2,000 people you've taught. That's amazing. And obviously it's something that you love doing. And there's somebody here that likes to pop in towards the latter part of the show, Sally. Just wanted to say hello and say that you knocked it out of the park. Mr. George Burns is with us. And there he is with his cigar. Now, did you ever meet or work with George over the years?
Is that George is really there with you?
There he is. There he is. See him?
Is there a picture
Oh,
of
wait,
him?
you can't see him. That's right. You can't see us, right? So when you look back at this, we have this, it's really cool. It's this fantastic George Burns collectible doll. My aunt collected all kinds of dolls, all kinds. And if there was a Sally Kirkland doll, she probably would have had that too. And this was a collector's item. He's really supposed to be wrapped in special plastic and in a box and put away. But we brought him out 2 years ago for one episode of our series. Everybody fell in love with him. And we have other Gilligan and other cast characters here. Every once in a while, we whip out on a holiday show or something. But he's here in his tuxedo with a red hanky and his cigar, with his glasses, looking right at you. And he said, you knocked it out of the park. You're brilliant. And he loved hearing the stories. And it was just a real pleasure. Love from George Burns, who played God in the movie.
Was that? Yes. He played God in the movie, Bruce Almighty.
That's
Did
right.
he? Or was that another movie?
It was,
No,
Oh God. Oh God.
Wait,
He was in Oh God.
No, that was you know who that
George
was.
was in Oh God. Yeah.
Oh, okay. But I want to make sure that your fans and followers and
the Lovities,
hear the names of the 3 movies that are being edited right now.
Yes.
And one is called Skeleton in the Closet, starring Terrence Howard and Cuba Gooding Jr. and a number of other people. And then it'll say and Sally Kirkland. And it was kind of an amazing horror film. Amazing. Oh, and I get to be so emotional. Darn it, JR. JR Rose is here.
See, JR should have gotten into our chat room. He could be chatting with us. Tell him to subscribe to Jim Masters TV and he can chat before we go.
Yeah. Oh well.
He'll
But,
enjoy watching this.
Here's the deal. So I'm in Skeleton in the Closet, which will scare the bejesus out of you, and then I'm in help me, JR. The one with James. Oh, come on, Sally. James Cullen Bressac,
Is it
29-year-old.
listed on your website?
Yeah.
So if people go to sallykirkland.com, they can see the names of these films.
4 films. And then the other one I spoke about, 80 for Brady. That'll probably be many, many months.
And that's based on the life of Tom Brady, right?
Well, I don't know if it's the life, but yeah, it's I don't want to ruin it. You'll see.
Yeah. That's the one we mentioned earlier, just for those joining later, where Sally is Rita Moreno, Sally Field, Lily Tomlin, Jane Fonda, and of course, football great Tom Brady. You see them all there on your screen. They're all in this movie, as is Sally Kirkland. And that's coming up as well, which is really exciting. What a cast, huh? Including you, of course. What a cast they've assembled. That's great casting. Those casting directors, give them an extra sandwich from Craft Services or something.
Thank you so much. And I really want to thank the casting director who put me with Murder Anyone, James Cullen Bressac. Watch out for him, guys. Young Martin Scorsese.
Oh, yes.
He's 29. He may be 30 by now, 29, 30. He has produced 42 films, directed 26. And then I get to be in his latest one, Murder Anyone. He's only 29 years old. Oh my God.
Yeah, but think about you. Well, you were doing it too in the 20s and earlier. You were out there. You were in movies, The Sting. I mean, you were doing it too. I was right out of school. I've been going strong ever since, doing it. You know, if you love it, and if people connect with it and they're inspired by it, if there's humor, if there's drama, if there's a human connection, if it resonates, whatever it is we do, if somehow it resonates with one person or a million people, it's an amazing thing, and it drives you to want to stay connected with people even more. But you're feeling better now? You're good?
I'm great now.
You're good.
I'm good. I do therapy every week. I go to Sam Catroni Pilates. Pilates. And I go to the Actors Studio on Fridays. And I go to Jim Masters whenever he wants me.
That's it.
Yeah. You're the first person to hear the news about my 10-hour, my 10 hours of a book. What do you call it? When you make your biography.
Yeah, I asked you before when you and I were chatting earlier today, before we even went on the air with the show, I had asked, would you be writing a memoir? And you said, yeah, you're getting it all down on tape, right?
Yeah, audio tape. Yeah. 10 hours of it.
10 hours so far.
I don't envy JR having to edit me, but
so JR's doing the editing and helping with it.
Yeah. And another friend, Mike. And I'm excited about it. For some reason, it's so much easier to do that than to sit down and write, Yeah,
because and sometimes when you have the word, I mean, those tapes themselves, digital, what have you, though they are valuable as well, because you can narrate the audiobook version and you're telling it, writing is fantastic, but when you're saying it, you're almost reliving it through the intonation and the articulation and the inflection of the voice. You are reliving some of those memories through your voice, which is incredible, isn't it?
Yeah. One of the nicest things that John Roger ever said to me when he ordained me, Reverend Sally Kirkland, was, I place a blessing on your voice.
Yes. Yeah. And that obviously has been done, Sally Kirkland. This has been amazing. And I truly hope that you enjoyed the time with me as much as I have with you, Sally, and that the show met whatever expectations that you had. This was really a blessing and an honor to spend this wonderful afternoon with you and go in all these different directions, unscripted, no scripts, no cue cards, no teleprompter, just real people having a nice conversation on the Jim Masters Show Live. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did and it met whatever expectations you had, Sally.
It did. It is. It will. God bless you for being you, Jim.
I appreciate that. You as well. You as well. Really, you've been very open and expressive and authentic, which is refreshing. You don't always get that. And we will keep the porch light on for you. We're now connected. We have each other's phone numbers. Where you hopefully, if you're on the East Coast or I'm out there on a TV shoot on the West Coast, we'll get together and have some sourdough bread or something.
and I do this little show. I really don't know who listens to it, but I know it
Well,
goes
that's
to
right. You did that too. You were telling me. I couldn't believe it.
150. So you'll come on that show as my
to.
actor, producer, writer, television host,
and journalist, and all of it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I would love to.
And for your listeners, it's on every Monday, 10 to 11 Pacific, 1 to 2 Eastern. www.healthylife.net.
Very, very nice. Absolutely fantastic. Lily says, I had enjoyed my time on the Jim Masters Show because she was a guest as well. And she's one of our great Levity viewers. Much love to the Levities from Lily. And Christine says, Sally, thanks for sharing your fascinating backstories of your magnificent career. Very deep conversation, so open and full of wisdom. Enjoyed the home tour, the artwork. You're a star and a Levity. And Maureen in Arizona says, Sally, you are incredibly gifted, and I'm so happy to have spent this time with you. Thank you for the gifts you have given us all through the many years. The world is lucky to have you. David Thistle says, thank you for sharing your beautiful thoughts with us as well. Just some of our viewers, I'd mentioned earlier to Sally that we have an international audience that watches live, and then a lot of people that watch this later because we save and archive all 670 plus episodes so far. And this isn't even my full-time job on our YouTube channel, Jim Masters TV. And you know, episodic and all that, 670 done in just 2 years is a lot.
That's a lot. Good for you.
It's a lot of levity.
45. You could be my son, right?
Will you add me to the Sun collection?
Yeah, I will.
That sounds great.
Yeah.
You're amazing. This was really a beautiful conversation, and I appreciate all the time, your wit and wisdom. And truly, I really hope you enjoyed the time as much as I did, Sally.
Oh, I know I did. I will forever. And I just want to say, Father, Mother, God, we ask just now for your light, just around, protect, and fill Jim Masters and everybody who comes to him on his show and all the people who work with him for his show, that it reaches all sorts of people he didn't even know he was going to reach. And as we go forward in our lives, Jim and I, that we continue to be authentic and honest and truthful. And we pray that no matter what race, creed, color, religion, circumstance, situation, that we are all one.
That's so beautifully said. You're amazing. Thanks so much, Sally. I really appreciate it. And you be well, you stay well. We've got lots of mutual friends, and Mel and Jasper and many others. And I'm sure we'll be gathering at some point soon.
Mel and I star in a film.
Yes, Mel England.
A film called Here We Are.
Here We Are.
Right now. And I play his Jewish New York mother with a brown wig. And I talk like this. And Mel is my son, and we scream and yell at each other.
See, I triggered that by saying Mel's name. I'm so glad we got that in there. You take care. And if you want to watch this, it's on our YouTube channel, Jim Masters TV, in case you wanted to see yourself at the last part, see the George Burns. You take care, my friend. Really a beautiful conversation. And thanks for gracing us with your wonderful presence here on the Jim Masters Show. Thoroughly loved it.
Thank you, Jim. It's my honor.
You be well. Take care, Sally. A blessing. Bye-bye now. Bye-bye. incredible Sally Kirkland here, Hollywood legend on the Jim Masters Show Live. So many different roles, so many different opportunities that she's had in her illustrious life. She's very open, which I think is refreshing, actually. And she shared so much with us. I mean, you guys probably, I know you had a ball because you've been commenting throughout the entire show. Now, if you're watching this later on in the archives, I mean, these conversations, these episodes of the Jim Masters Show series, we don't even call these interviews. We call these conversations. And, when you turn something on like TV or radio or even the internet, and there's a lot of stuff that's coming at you really fast and blah, 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 and your head's spinning. It's nice once in a while to have good conversations where, you can really go in a lot of different directions, a lot of different angles. We don't have to feel rushed, because life is a rush unto itself. Every single day we feel rushed and moving and got to do what we got to do. So, we sort of slow it down a little bit and we get into some good conversations. Now, here's somebody that, has been in Hollywood for decades, has done television, stage, film, Broadway, all of it, major TV series, network shows, major movies, The Sting, The Way We Were. You can't even count them on all your hands. You'd have to have multiple hands like an octopus or arms. And yet she's real. She's grounded. She has the faith-based inspiration in her life. And she's somebody who's a straight shooter, which is amazing. And you got a chance to learn a little bit more about somebody that maybe you were very aware of. You knew some of those productions and movies and films. Many of you said, "Oh, I saw her in this and I remember her in that." And now you got a chance, which we love to do here, the Jim Masters Show Live series, is to learn a little bit more about her. And what happens is when you learn a little bit more about the guest and me, because I'm conversing with the guests, so I'm sharing as well. I'm not just asking typical everyday questions. I've done that in my television work as well, where we have questions that are just standard stuff. But I like to do it where these are conversations and they go in any direction. And it's rare. You don't see a lot of this elsewhere, and people are craving this kind of thing. So, and I don't make the show all about me. It's about us. It's about, if we have a guest, it's about the guest, me, and you. And Kathleen doing a super sticker there in New York City. Thank you very much. That helps support our series. Super stickers, super emojis, super chat. You can do that when the show is live. If you don't get a chance to do that when the show is live, you can do it afterwards. There's a little heart icon on our YouTube channel under all the episodes. It's called Super Thanks. And that shows support for everything we do here with this monster series called The Jim Masters Show Live. So thank you, Kathleen in New York. I appreciate that. She says, "Thanks, Jim. Great show. You're the best." And go Mets, our team, our New York Mets. They're doing well this season, but I'm not going to say any more because it's still early. I don't want to jinx anything for our Mets. Kathleen works with the New York Mets, and I'll be seeing you soon. I will be seeing you soon there at Citi Field in New York. Boy, talk about aging with grace. Oh, yes, I would agree. What a beautiful inside and out person Sally is. Thank you, Jim, for leading such a wonderful conversation and giving us a peek into her incredible career. Yeah, I would say we did a peek and we did a loop around and a full circle and we did everything. And my favorite color, Dwight is asking, Jim, your favorite color is blue. I do like blue, but you know what my favorite color is? This right here, green. I love green. For some reason, I've just always loved green. Maybe because it's growth, it's positivity. I do love blue, but the first I would say would be green. Now, that could be the Irish in me too. I have to love some parts of green, right? And I have to love mashed potatoes, which I do as well. So, maybe it's a cultural thing. Dwight says, Sally was just fantastic. If anybody joined us late, we started, Sally and we've been on the phone all day today, putting it all together. And we thank Cody helping her. And hopefully we'll have Cody on the show too. He's a brilliant actor and performer, but that's Cody Galloway. When what was really, really cool was we were talking about, what we said we were just going to do probably about 45 minutes. Because generally on a lot of shows, that's all the guest gets. The guest doesn't even get Johnny Carson and Dick Cavett. They gave 45 minutes. Merv and Mike and the others, Mike Douglas. That world was 45-minute conversations, but we just let it roll. And it was funny because Sally was, she was mentioning, we're at 48 minutes, we're at 50 minutes, thinking that I was going to say, oh, that's it, cut her off, or we got to wrap. No, not here. If there's something to say and you guys are watching and you're enjoying it and we're having a really great moment, then we just let it roll. For as long as the guests wants to be here, we just let it roll. We don't put a clock on it. If they only have a certain amount of time, that's fine. But what happens is a lot of the guests end up sticking around because they enjoy it. Her website is sallykirkland.com. You can check her out there and keep abreast of all the projects, movies, and so much more. And two guests who were on our show, Mel England and Jasper Cole, who will be watching this in the archives later. So hello, Mel and Jasper. Mel is on a plane going from the East Coast to West Coast right now. Jasper is on the set filming a Christmas movie. So they were on the show, and Sally has been in productions with both of those fine gentlemen recently. And if you missed those episodes, if you missed the episode when actor Jasper Cole was here and actor Mel England was here, make sure you watch that. Mel and I met each other in New York City when Neil Rubenstein was part of this amazing project that Mel England was involved in. And we all met at the screening of this movie, independent movie that Mel was in New York City at one of the cinemas. I think it was on the Lower East Side, in Manhattan. And it was terrific. So good stuff, gang. We'll take a look at a few more comments, and then it is 9:34 p.m. Eastern at the time of this show right now. So we might have a little snack. I know Sally's probably worked up her appetite. She had a sandwich. She's a trooper. Cody brought her a sandwich 2.5 hours ago. She is a professional. Her stomach must have been rumbling because she wanted that sandwich. But she said, I'll have the sandwich after. So that sandwich is going to disappear in 5 seconds. She sang for her supper tonight, didn't she, gang? Absolutely. You guys are great. Thanks for all these great Jen wants her back already. Jim, can we have Sally back soon? She's awesome. Absolutely. We like to keep the porch light on for all of our fabulous guests. I do want to let you know as well, for those of you joining us tomorrow at 4 p.m. Eastern, 1 p.m. Pacific, Michael Learnard, legendary actress who starred as Olivia Walton in The Waltons, is going to be with us here. Yep, she's all excited. It's going to be at a special time, 4 p.m. Eastern, 1 p.m. Pacific. And then we have another show tomorrow night as well. We have 2 shows, which is incredible. So check us out tomorrow. We thank once again the incomparable Sally Kirkland for gracing us with her presence here. And a lot more than you expected, I'm sure. You thought we were just going to talk about her career and all the usual, right? Now we got deep, and she shared some of her faith and inspiration with us too, which was something I think we could all use about now in this crazy world. I think it was Toby that said it's a mad, mad, mad world right about now, and it sure is. So good stuff, and good chatting with all of you. I thank all of you for being with us, whether you're watching live or you're watching around the world. What we're doing here, this community that we have built on the Jim Masters Show, a show that I created 2 years ago as an aside to all of my work in television, radio, stage, and film. And a lot of you have asked, are you going to do this just during this pandemic period? Or are you going to keep doing this series? And it's grown into this epic daily, nightly broadcast with all of you. So as long as you guys are out there, I will continue to turn on these lights, turn on the set lights, get all ready to go and inspire and have a good time with you. We have a lot of laughs. We have a lot of entertainment on our show. If this is your first time, we welcome you. The guests come in from Broadway, Hollywood, television, film, music, stage, culinary arts, sports, comedy, inspiration. We also do shows sometimes where it's just you and I. It's a chat show. We're actually putting together a 2-year anniversary celebration. I believe that's going to happen on this Sunday. So if you guys want to make some quick videos and send them to us, telling us, it doesn't have to be fancy, you on your cell phone, quick video, and send them to us. Maybe you'll be shown on the Jim Masters Show anniversary episode, and get those to us by the end of the week. We may even be able to air your video on our show. That's right. So we're celebrating. We've got a lot of great videos that our guests have made that they've shared with us, celebrating the anniversary of our show. And we appreciate that. We're going to show those to you on our anniversary show, which I believe is going to happen on Sunday. So get those videos into us quick, just like a 50-second video of you just telling us why you enjoy the Jim Masters Show. And many of you have been with us for years, or the 2 years we've been doing it. Sweet dreams, everyone, from Sue. Thank you, Sue. Jane in Sweden says it's 3:37 a.m. where she is. And cool stuff. And Christine says, good night, Jim, and thanks for the phenomenal episode with Sally. I'm so impressed with her tremendous career, quite a career. Night to all the lovelies, lovely hugs. Absolutely. You guys are the best. Dwight wants to know if we have anything from Trader Joe's, like snacks and lemonade. Yes, you're a mind reader. Actually, during the show, I was having some pink lemonade from Trader Joe's. Yes, I have a contact, a friend that works at Trader Joe's. So we get the scoop when they have all those new products. We get the scoop early on. Gang, thanks for being with us. Once again, if you enjoyed this episode of the Jim Masters Show Live Entertainment Lifestyle Variety Talk Show series, give this episode a thumbs up like on our YouTube channel. Our YouTube channel is the one you're watching right now, Jim Masters TV, where we house all these episodes, some 270 episodes. Give it a thumbs up, like, leave a comment, drop a comment on our YouTube channel episode as well. If you enjoyed this episode, we would love to chat with you in comments as well. I know you like to chat in chat when the show is live, but definitely leave a comment on our YouTube channel. We would really appreciate that. When you do that, it also allows the algorithm that YouTube has to take the episode and blast it out even further to the world, even more. Even though we reach the world, even more people get a chance to see these episodes. So leave a comment for us. We're very responsive, and give it a thumbs up. And if you haven't subscribed to the YouTube channel, the channel is Jim Masters TV. Click that red button. There's no cost. You're just subscribing, meaning that you believe in what we're doing here and you love it. And so click that red button on our YouTube channel, subscribe. And we thank you very much. This is your host, Jim Masters, thanking you for your time this time. Till next time. We don't say goodbye around here. We just say see you later. Avida Zane, sayonara, cheers, ciao, slancha, hasta la vista, and all the rest. We will be back. 2 shows tomorrow. Again, Michael Leonard from the Waltons is going to be here at 4 p.m. Eastern, 1 p.m. Pacific. And then we have another amazing guest. You can see all the guests coming up on our YouTube channel. Next week, Lucy Arnaz is going to be on our show. The wonderful Lucy Arnaz, dear friend, daughter of Lucille Ball and Desi Arnaz. She's going to be with us next week. We have a bevy of amazing guests. Even though we've been doing it 2 years, folks, we're just getting started. Here's how you can help. Spread the word. Tell everybody you know about our series. Let them know that we exist. Share these YouTube episode links on your social media. That really, really helps us. And continue to join us as often as you can. We realize you can't be here all the time when the show is live, but catch us in the archives. That's why we save all these episodes for all of you, and we appreciate it. So that's a wrap for this episode. We thank you. For those that aren't watching live, you're watching this later in the archive, stay right there. Another amazing episode of the Jim Masters Show Live series comes up for you. Check out our next episode and our previous episodes. There's many to enjoy and binge watch. And again, if you guys have guest suggestions, let us know. We always love that. And we love all of you from watching around the world. Our audience is varied. Men, women, all different ages, all different backgrounds, eye color, hair color, religious views, no religious views, political views, height, weight, income, zip code. The show is welcoming to anybody and everybody. Whoever wants to watch and participate, we say thank you. We say thank you so very much. All right. Thanks, gang. And a smile coming in from Sue. We appreciate that. We appreciate that. Good stuff. I think Sally Kirkland is going to sleep well tonight. I think she's going to sleep well tonight. Once again, we thank her, legendary actress Sally Kirkland, Hollywood royalty, joining us here on the Jim Masters Show live. And we had a lot of, if you joined us late, we had a lot of laughs. And that movie that's coming out with Lily Tomlin and Jane Fonda and Rita Moreno and Sally Field and Tom Brady, of course, the epic football player. That's going to be cool. And all the other cool things. All right. We don't say goodbye. We say see you later. And we're going to do that right now. Thanks for watching this episode of the Jim Masters Show. We love you all. Take care and be well. And thanks for all the great live activity in our JMS chat room. You guys are on fire. We thank you for that. And again, if you missed out on a live chat, leave a comment for us on the YouTube channel as well. Wherever you're watching around the world, we thank you for being with us. You're amazing. Continue to spread the word for us, and we'll continue doing what we do for all of you, putting smiles on your faces and having a good darn time. You know, we just really enjoy having a good time. And when we do these shows live, anything can happen, and it usually does. All right, gang. We'll see you soon, okay? We'll be here tomorrow. 2 shows, double Lovity Day, 2 shows. And again, you can see all the previous shows on our YouTube channel. Take care and be well, all right? Thanks for being with us. Cheers.